I think ours was pretty high. I know we had to have a late change because a player who was high on points wasn't able to obviously fit into 16, so we had to replace him, or the coaching staff had to. So that was a bit disappointing to not have him play his first game for the club. But it's just going to be a challenge, I guess, for the coaches and their assistants to be able to manage that and also put in a competitive team on the field.
Because what is the point system? It's 0, 1, 2 and 3, is that right?
I think it goes up to 4 for a local transfer, so a player going from Palmerston to Wanderers will be worth 4 if they've played X amount of games. It's a little bit technical, but I agree in theory with that, because they've got to be able to try and even out the competition as much as possible. Otherwise, you're going to have teams with money or additional resources and networks that are just going to be too strong and be highly successful all the time, because they can attract the right people and the good players to their clubs.
Yeah, so last week St Mary's had their 16. I think Nightcliff had 14 out of 16. So it is definitely, as you mentioned, for your team last week, it actually meant a player had to sit out. So imagine that, the coach wanting the best people for their positions, and you've actually got points as well. Dom, what are you expecting out of this game today, as we just see the Tiwi Bombers run out onto the field?
To be very honest, I'm not really sure, Shannon. Round 2, I thought both teams started their games quite well last week. Palmerston were competitive against Waratah in the first game under lights at Gardens Oval, which was good to see. But by the time the second quarter came around, Waratah blew them out of the water, and they set their second half up quite easily. A little bit of the same story for the Tiwi Bombers, really competitive, 6 goals to 2 against Darwin, and then Darwin just began to put the pressure on and, from a fitness perspective, run them off their legs. And you talked about the score before, Tiwi kicked 14, but Darwin kicked 24 or 28 or whatever it was, so quite incredible from a Darwin Footy Club performance. So both teams, look, there's just so many changes that normally happen. Tiwi Bombers, we know they struggle to get together over the pre-season to in fact do training. So some of these games, I think, are them actually training together for the first time. They're having to do it in a game. So they're in a very difficult situation in that regard. So not really sure what to expect. You think at this time of the year, Tiwi potentially, just from a weather perspective, perhaps a bit too good. Palmerston trying to gel a team, so hard to say. On that basis, I'm probably going to go for Tiwi, but wouldn't be surprised if Palmerston win by 10 goals.
Yeah, because they have 4 satellite areas where they actually train as well. So coming together, it takes them, I find, a couple of weeks to gel.
That's it.
But they're coming up against the Palmerston Magpies, who, have, a team that, or a club, as we can say, is someone that's rebuilding. Not too far away from the first bounce. Hope you're enjoying the start to the coverage of round 2 of the NTFL season. First bounce, not too far away.
This is the NTFL, live on ABC Digital Radio and streaming on the ABC Listener.
And welcome back to Marara Oval. A very steamy afternoon. The wet season is in Darwin. Well, it's really the build-up, and it means that it is very hot, very steamy, as the coin is just being tossed out in the middle. Patrick Heenan is out there for the Tiwi Bombers, and it's just giving thumbs up to the opposing captain in Matthew Dennis. Strong breeze actually going down towards the airport end. The 3 flags across from us, so slight advantage towards the airport end. Your umpires for this afternoon: Connor Hawes, Samuel Cunningham, John Rawsthone and Mark Noonan. And Mark Noonan, wow, still going around, Aaron. He is just phenomenal. Mark Noonan has the record for umpiring in the NTFL, for those just listening in outside of Darwin. So this is a huge afternoon again for him to continue. Before we head into the match, Aaron, you're the best person to tell Dom and I and our listeners, what is it like to play at 2:30 in the afternoon here in Darwin? How do you prepare?
Yeah, it's certainly not a pleasant experience, but something that we've got to do because we love footy so much. Well, me personally, when we've got to play at such an early time, try and get a bit of a big breakfast in, whether that's some eggs or bacon or pancakes, whatever it is, just to try and get something in the belly. And me personally, I like to get that out of the way and just focus on hydrating, whether that's through water or hydrolytes, Powerade, whatever it is, just to keep the fluids up, and heaps of stretching out of the sun. Just trying to focus on, staying cool and warm, and making sure that I'm ready to go once we head into the change rooms about an hour and a half before a game.
And then what about during the game as well? I know I spoke last season to Cameron Eilert, who said when it's one of these games, you play smarter footy. You maybe don't go for everything that you normally would run around in an afternoon or night game. He said you consciously recognise when you win. And is that something you do?
Yeah, I think you do it as you get older as well. Me and Cammy speak a fair bit about it. You certainly pick your moments, and you try and become a bit smarter, trying to get to a contest or two that you think might unfold, and certainly work behind the play a little bit more as well, and trying to influence the game that way.
Well, the players are in readiness for the start of round 2 action, and we will be going off. We'll just take the new team sheet that's come through just in case there's any changes, which I think there is. So a couple of late changes, so bear with us. We've been given a new Tiwi Bombers as the ball is held aloft, and Cunningham has it aloft here in the middle of Marara Oval number 1. Sun is blaring down, feels like 37 degrees, and Dominic McCormack to get us underway.
Matthew Dennis winning the first tap out. Palmerston, great forward entry. Chris Williams with the ball off the boot. Drop mark there comes from Mason DeWitt for the Tiwi Bombers. Will their mark taken? No. Roy Farmer had it in the goal square. Called a play on. Mason DeWitt takes it again. Tried to handball to a teammate. Couldn't get it to him. Palmerston with ball in hand. Almost a high tackle there, but the umpire says I will take it. And going up in the ruck contest, Jack Berry. Tall, lanky man for the Palmerston Magpies up against DeWitt, who held him by the arm clearly, and the umpires called it immediately. Mason DeWitt, as most players do, cannot believe the free kick's been paid. And Jack Berry to take this free kick 2 metres in from the boundary, about 25 from goal. He's been asked to stand in the shade for a moment under the light post. Goes for the banana on the right boot, and he has put that through the big man. He wasted no time whatsoever from the right forward pocket. Palmerston on the board, 1 goal straight. Tiwi Bombers yet to score.
Yeah, certainly a great start for Palmerston there with Jack Berry kicking that check side from the grandstand pocket. Great start for Palmerston, and Tiwi had a chance there to try and transition the ball out of the back line, and were a little bit fumbly there, and Palmerston done well to keep it in there and create that scoreboard pressure early.
And just that opposing figure of Dennis inside the centre square for Palmerston.
And as captain, he chose, after winning the toss too, Shannon, he chose to kick to the end. That's being favoured heavily by the wind at this stage.
So he's going to go up against Sibilyak again. Dennis just towers over him. Easy tap down behind. Ball down on the ground, not being able to get out just yet. Dennis gets a handball back out. Coming through and picking it up is Anand. Still not in the centre square. Dennis gets another handball. He's getting a lot of possessions. Being wrapped up is Patrick Heenan. He's on the attacking side of the square for the Palmerston Magpies. Ball tossed back up. It's Dennis who gets a double hit to it. Ball goes down to the ground. Umpire's going to pick out a free kick, and it's going to go to the Palmerston Magpies. It was high against Guthrie. Eric Guthrie straight down to the top of the square. Coming through. He's going to get a toe poke, and he's going to get the second goal. Lockyer Jr. pounced on it, just asking if it was clear, and Lockyer Jr., what an opportune goal there. The free kick came from Guthrie. It was high. He booted it 50 metres, went over the pack in the gold square. Running onto it was Lockyer Jr., and he picks up his first for the afternoon after kicking 4 goals last week.
Yeah, certainly in great form, Nigel Lockyer, especially after his successful season in Alice Springs. I think it was with South or Rovers that won the CAFL premiership there. So he's got his team off to a great start as well with an opportunistic goal in the goal square.
Kicked 4 last week. He had a great contribution to the side.
Ball tossed high now. Dennis waits for the footy, grabs it. His kick is smothered off the boot. Coming through strongly now, the Tiwi Bombers at half forward. Over the footy there for the Maggies was Tyrell Louis. Loses out here to the Tiwi half forward. Half forward line takes hold of the footy. Ball being tossed back here. Dion Munkara Back to the umpire. They toss it up high. Dennis again wins that. He's such a dominant force. Tiwi now coming away with it. Handball was astray. Palmerston with a big left boot kick up into forward 50. DeWitt couldn't take the mark, which he should have. Ball almost socket forward there by Matthew Rankin. Handball comes forward to Nigel Lockyer Jr. Got a handball away. Now lays a tackle. DeWitt's in there. So too for the Tiwi Bombers. DeWitt again. Oh, that's just beautiful play by the Palmerston Magpies. Matthew Rankin emerged from the packet on the left boot, snaps truly straight through the middle. 3 goals in a row here to the Palmerston Magpies. 3 straight 18. Tiwi Bombers yet to go inside their forward 50 with 4.5 minutes down in the first quarter.
Yeah, Palmerston have started really well, using the scoreboard, the win, to their advantage, kicking down to the airport end. 3 goals, three shots at goal within the first 4 minutes, and kicking successfully as well. The pressure's now on the Tiwi now to try and get the game on their terms.
Phelan Cantillas had to come off too for the Tiwi Bombers. Cloth being held to his head and receiving treatment.
Dennis just convincingly wins it down again, taps it to Tiwi's players. Dennis goes again, disrupts the ball, trying to pick it up. No one can get it cleanly, still on the ground. There's 12 around it at the moment. Now it's at the defensive end of the square. Palmerston Magpies get a hurried kick out to the commentary wing, picked up for the Tiwi Bombers. A very wobbly kick down. It's going to be taken over the boundary. They've called for deliberate, but Flanagan was able to disguise that, and he has just trickled it over in front of the Palmerston Magpies dugout. Still not inside their forward 50 yet, Tiwi Bombers.
Matthew Dennis now with the ruck contest. Paddled it to the ground, then kicked quickly. Goes into the centre. This being taken now by the Tiwi Bombers. Dion Munkara again. Wheels onto that familiar left boot. Misses his target in Paddy Heenan. Good challenge there between he and Michaelis McMaster. Coming through strongly there was Joseph Thompson. Loses the footy now to Scagliarini for the Tiwi Bombers, and in the left forward pocket, their first real entry inside 50. The ball goes over the boundary line and will be a boundary throw in. 20 around from the Tiwi goal. 6 minutes down here. Palmerston 3 straight 18. Tiwi yet to score.
Ball tossed in, first opportunity for Dennis again, and he easily taps it down, and Palmerston are able to clear. Bounces awkwardly over the top of Rankin, picked up for the Tiwi Bombers by DeWitt. He just puts it inside the forward 50 for the Tiwi Bombers, and there's a number of players. The ball spills out. Harassing there was Patrick Heenan. And a big tackle laid on a Tiwi Bombers player. Shot on goal. It's a wild one. It's going to go to the right. And that was Harley Purantanamiri. He's missed everything. And it's going to come out the outer wing. Taken by Tyrell Louis. He goes to the outer wing. Just underneath the scoreboard. Goes over the head of Sutton. They're on the outer wing. He's on the outer side. He gets an ugly bounce. Sutton and the Palmerston Magpies, though, advance down to their attacking side of the outer wing. Probably a 2 or 3 goal breeze looking at those flags at the moment, Aaron.
Ruck contest now. Jack Berry in the ruck contest. Wins it easily against Simbaljevic. Goes towards Sutton, close to the boundary line, retains possession, good handball, spots up a teammate, his kick is errant. Bradley Palapumeni drops a mark that he wishes he'd taken. Matthew Rankin comes in for the Palmerston Magpies, gets a handball away, no one can take it cleanly. Now a handball comes out, quick kick inside 50, Maggie's charging at it, Tiwi Bombers are going to ground. How's the umpire going to see this? He says, I will have it. 40 metres out from goal, left of centre. There'll now be another ball up with the Palmerston Magpies in attack. Ruck contest, one down easily by the Palmerston Magpies again. Quick kick came out and taken there by Purantanamiri. It'll come straight back again. No mark taken. DeWitt off hands. Ball taken there by Jerome Tipmundamerry, and he kicks out of bounds. And the umpire says throw it in. 45 metres around, left forward pocket. The Palmerston Magpies still in attack.
Fast and furious footy at the moment. Tiwi Bombers under attack in their defensive area. Berry just gets it from behind in the ruck, kicks it forward, and it goes out 10 metres from the left post for Palmerston. A lot of pressure keeping it in there at the moment, Aaron.
Yeah, certainly. Both teams are making a bit of mistakes with the footy, and certainly the way that it's been playing at the moment, a bit of kamikaze footy for both teams at the moment.
Berry going up against Simbaljevic. Simbaljevic goes and just boots it straight back where it was thrown in. Sorry, he fisted that. It's a huge fist in the end.
Deliberate the call, Shannon.
Yeah. So now Sutton for the Palmerston Magpies. He's going to have a shot on goal. He's going to come in from the boundary. He's going to go the check side. Is he going to whirl it around? It's coming around, it's coming around. No, is it going to be taken at a mark? And the mark's not played and it goes through for a behind. And so the Palmerston Magpies 3-1-19 to Tiwi, yet to score. 10 minutes gone opening term.
Phil and Cantilla gone down the race too for the Tiwi Bombers with a cut to the head, I think. Kick in comes and taken there by the Bombers. Long kick out now down centre wing. Ball in the hands of Nicholas Ebbinger for the Tiwi Bombers. Good run from him. Inside attacking 50. Almost a good mark taken. No free. Ball spills. Scrimmage now. 40 metres out from goal. Tiwi Bombers locking it in there. The Palmerston Magpie defence did well to hold the footy up. And now there'll be a ruck contest. Players to come in. Dennis with his hand held aloft saying he will be in the contest. Wins it down easily, the big man. Goes to a teammate in Michaelis McMaster's. Handball come out. Nice little chain there. Handball tapped away there by Tyrell Louis. Kick forward into space. Now, Toshi Kunoff gathers the footy at half forward. Good handball to a teammate in Sutton. Gets the old 1-2. Long kick down towards Nigel Lockyer Jr. Got a hand to it. Will soccer it towards the goal square. No, he won't. He was leapt upon. In the back could be the call, or holding the ball in. Has to be one or the other. The umpire said it wasn't in the back. And a free kick going to DeWitt for the Tiwi Bombers. Looking for a teammate. It's a poor kick. His teammate did magnificently close to the boundary line. Gathered the footy. Kicked the ball forward. Not taken there by Matthew Chester. Falls to Toshi Kunoff for the Palmerston Magpies. Goes back now to Matthew Chester on the right boot. Kicks it out in front of Nigel Lockyer Jr. And he marks 35 metres out directly in front of goal. And will go back to kick at his second in this first quarter.
Yeah, it was a great recovery there from Matthew Chester. A couple of fumbles there involved in that play, but had enough composure there to lower his eyes inside 50. A lot of players in that instance would have a blazing shot at goal, but he found Nigel Lockyer on a smart lead.
Nigel Lockyer Jr. goes back. He's a good left foot kick, and that is no exception at all. The star from Alice Springs puts that straight through the middle. 2 goals straight he has. Palmerston, more importantly, 4 straight 24. Tiwi 2 behinds, 11 and a half gone in the first quarter.
Tiwi have had their hands on the ball a few times, Dom and Shannon, and just haven't been able to capitalise going forward. It's been a little bit sloppy on their end, just trying to over-possess the footy at times. They've just got to make some smart decisions going forward. Maybe get in the hands of some of their leaders as well, the Patrick Heenans and Dion Moncaras that are very good ball users for them.
Maloney for the Tiwi Bombers has been moved into the ruck. He's going to go up against Dennis, who is absolutely dominating. Dennis doesn't even have to get off the ground, but he's able to get the ball tapped down. Dennis picks it up. He's doing a mountain of work, kicks it on, just drops it onto the left boot, goes into the forward 50. Ugly bounce picked up by Purantanameri. That's Richard Purantanameri in the middle of the ground. It's going to be turned over for Palmerston. Handball into the middle of the ground from Guthrie. Gets it off to Dennis, who now puts it onto the right. Huge up and under, and parked under it for the Tiwi Bombers. And they're going to come out through the outer side, and they're going to come out convincingly. So little chip over, a couple of Tiwi players free now. Cantilla has it, Matthew Cantilla that is. He's just holding it up. He's directly in front of the commentary box, wanting people to come forward. Umpires told him to play on. Goes down to the pack, and a beautiful oh, it's not played. Bradley Palapalmini, probably unlucky there not to hold it. Now the Magpies turn it over on the commentary wing. Ball just goes over the head of Lockyer Jr. and Wilson for the Tiwi Bombers. The defender just happy to see it over, and it's going to be tossed in 55 metres out from the right side of the Palmerston goals.
Boundary throw in now, Tiwi trying to organise themselves here. This is dangerous territory. Up in ruck contest, Jack Berry. Paddle it to himself, then towards the boundary line. They call for deliberate. Don't think that's the case, and the umpire agrees with that. They'll do it all over again. Berry jogging back into position, lining up here against Maloney. Roy Farmer in position at the back of the pack. Berry gets first touch to it, comes to Roy Farmer, got a handball away. Comes away now to DeWitt, onto the left boot. Fortunately into the middle of the ground. Tiwi away with the footy. Little pop-up handball goes to Bradley Palapurmeni. Stepped inside, was tackled high by Dennis. His kick went inside, attacking 50. Mark dropped there by Michaelis McMasters. Spillage to be cleaned up here by the Palmerston Magpies. No, it won't. Heath Maloney did brilliantly to toe poke it forward to his own advantage. And that advantage was 5 metres out from goal. He runs on, picks up and drills it through the middle. Tiwi Bombers, their first goal for the afternoon. Palmerston 4-1-25. Tiwi 1 straight 6 for the afternoon. Well done, Heath Maloney.
Yeah, certainly a great goal there, but you've got to give credit to Dion Mankara there. Made the tackle. It was a 2-on-1 in that forward line, and he impacted the contest there with a great tackle, which led to that goal to Maloney. And
my apologies, it's Nicholas Ebbinger.
Ebbinger, sorry. Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, that was a great effort there from Dion Mankara. Certainly trying his hardest to lift the Tiwi team.
Simbaljevic back in the ruck. He's going to go up against Berry. Ball down on the ground. Still not clean out of the middle. Now it's going to be trying to get through Purantana Miri. Harley lost it. Still in the middle of the park. Going through traffic is Guthrie for the Palmerston Magpies. Hurried kick inside the forward 50. Picked up by the Tiwi Bombers, Purantana Miri. That's Richard Purantana Miri. He's been picked up for a throw. And the free kick going to Palmerston Magpies in a very good position here, directly in front of goal.
Alwyn
and
Davey
that is Alwyn Davey Jr.
The son of Palmerston coach Alwyn Davey.
What is he, only 16 years of age?
Only a young kid, but very talented. I expect him to kick this goal, though.
A stutter over the 50, directly in front of goal, and he's missed everything. He's hit the outside post. Aaron Motlop's put the mockers on him, but he didn't look comfortable.
No,
maybe not quite his reach.
Certainly rushed himself, though. He should have taken a little bit more time with that shot.
Had the breeze as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Ball and back into play here by the Tiwi Bombers, and an errant handball goes straight out of bounds. Phelan Cantilla's come back from the race. His head is bandaged, his hand is bandaged. He looks the worse for wear. What a start to his first quarter, Phelan Cantilla. Boundary throw in now. It's very, very shallow. And one of the midfielders has gone for the footy, which he shouldn't have done, but the umpire quite rightly has called for the boundary umpire to toss it back in again. So...
He's getting black strapping on that too, Cantilla. Think of a rugby union look.
Jeez, he's going for that look, and he's doing it very well at the minute.
Bit of a John Eales type.
Yeah,
oh, exactly. It's going back a few years. Matthew Dennis wins that one easily. Down to DeWitt, onto the left boot. Pumps it out of defensive 50. Contest here close to the boundary line. The ball kept in here by the Tiwi Bombers. Nice handball away by Scagliarini. Finds a teammate in Jerome Tipmundamerry. Has one bounce. Can he find a teammate? Needs to kick it quickly. He does, as he was under pressure. Finds that teammate too in John Tipalora. He's a good player, John Tipalora. Just needs to steady here because there were no Tiwi players inside 50. He gets it to Bradley Palapumani, who played on when he probably shouldn't have. Still no teammates were really inside 50 to his advantage. He played on looking this time for Heath Maloney and simply found one of the many Palmerston defenders waiting inside defensive 50. Palmerston now through Elijah Kelly looking to bring the footy out. Elijah Kelly tripped over the footy, picked it up, had a bounce which didn't come back to him. Still had plenty of time to get it to a teammate in McMasters. Chain of handballs through midfield now. Williams looking for a teammate up forward. Can't find one just yet. Swooping on the footy, however, Matthew Rankin blazes away. He had lots of time and kicks the ball out of bounds on the full. Scrappy play all round there by both teams. 18 minutes gone in this first quarter. Palmerston 3-1 has to be 4 goals, surely.
Yep.
It's 4 goals, 1, leading the Tiwi Bombers 1 straight 6.
So ball brought back in from the left back pocket for the Tiwi Bombers. Thumping kick. Trying to find a big man in Ebbinger, but in front was Berry for the Palmerston Magpies, and he's just hit it out. I think another player's just come off there for the Tiwi Bombers as well. Tupu Mantrameri has come off limping, so hopefully it's just cramp. Ball to be tossed 55 metres in from the right side. Very shallow throw. Berry gets in front for the Palmerston Magpies, but the Tiwi Bombers are going to come out And they, drop ball, too casual, weren't looking. A lot of flat-footed players around now for the Tiwi Bombers. They're under a mountain of pressure at their defensive 50 in the middle of the park. Trying to get it out was Richard Purantanamiri. But it's not going to get away from the Palmerston Magpies. Dennis has it at the top of the 50 and he just turns around, spots a free Palmerston Magpies player. There's Magpie players everywhere. Williams will now have a shot on goal, 40 metres out, directly in front. And that was too easy, Aaron.
Yeah, I won't put the pressure on Chris Williams there, but you would expect him to kick at a player of his calibre and his skill level. As he lets me down again. Shockingly.
You've got 2 out of bounds on the full so far, Aaron.
But getting back to Palmerston, they've really been impressive so far. The way they're playing their footy at the moment has been really, really good, and they should be a couple of goals in front at the moment. Tiwi just need to get back on the same page. I think there's a couple of individuals that are trying their hardest to get them back in the game, but they're just letting themselves down with their disposal.
Well, speaking of disposal, Paddy Heenan from halfback drills a pass to Heath Maloney. Found him beautifully. Heath Maloney's kick not so good. Cut off here by the Maggies. Tap away came from Joseph Thompson. Falls to ground. Tyson Tippermundamerry, the high up and under on centre wing. Play on was the quick call from the umpire. A little bit of a fumble close to the boundary line and out of bounds at right half forward for the Tiwi Bombers. The boundary umpire will toss it in. 20 minutes down here, 25 plays 6. Palmerston Magpies in front, but as Aaron Motlop just said, they could easily be another 2 goals in front if Aaron just hadn't put the pressure on from the commentary box. Boundary throw in comes. Dennis wins that down easily again. Nigel Lockyer Jr. swooped onto that, picked it up well. Couldn't find a teammate, doesn't matter. They come in strongly. John Harvey takes it away from the contest. Long kick, but only in the direction of Mason DeWitt for the Tiwi Bombers, who takes that mark deep inside the right back pocket for the Bombers.
And he tries to go himself, takes a bounce, comes out to the commentary wing, just gets it outside the defensive 50. Ball in front. The Palmerston Brock fell over, gives time, good chase, and Ebinger thought he had lost his opponent, but coming from nowhere was Chester, and Chester's going to kick it back inside the forward 50, and it's going to be the Tiwi Bombers trying to get it out, picking it up and flicking it up. Handball over was Williams. Now they're inside the forward 50. Nigel Lockyer Jr. has another running shot on goal, and it's straight over the umpire's hat. That's his 3rd, and that is the Palmerston's 5th for the afternoon. Nigel Lockyer kicked 4 last week, and his tally is already up to 3.
Yeah, he's just a touch of class from Nigel Lockyer, just to impose himself in that contest there. Just a little subtle tap over his opponent and finish off with a quality finish. And the conditions are certainly playing a part here, although a bit of a southeasterly breeze going towards the airport end, impacting the skill execution from both sides. Palmerston are certainly taking their chances at the moment with their 5th goal for the quarter.
Doesn't he kick the ball beautifully, Aaron?
He does. He's a very beautiful kick of the footy.
Yeah. Ball back in the middle now. 5-1-31. Plays 1 straight 6. The ball tossed high. Dennis got himself into position, but Maloney out-positioned him. Took the footy out of the contest. Kicked it up to half forward. Taken there by Ebinger. And a mark taken for the Tiwi Bombers. Their first mark inside 50 for this quarter. And well done. Right from the ruck contest through half forward. Good play. And Phelan Cantilla, that man, the John Eales lookalike, as Aaron described him earlier. He's got the rugby union look happening. More importantly, he's got the ball about 15 metres in from the boundary, left of centre, kicking from the left forward pocket to the Michael Long centre end. On the approach, stutters to the right-hand side, compensated for it, and almost swung it in. That breeze really having an effect. Only the minor scores. So Tiwi move to 1-1-7, trailing the Palmerston Magpies 5-1-31 with nearly 23 minutes gone in this first quarter.
And the Palmerston Magpies went to kick out. It has been a 50 given away. He was inside the 10-metre radius, so this is going to be tough for the Tiwi Bombers. They've just been marched 50 metres down the ground. And Masters is going to kick it inside. It's going to be chopped off by the Tiwi Bombers. Picked up here from Munkara, just chipped forward. Back to Munkara, handball over the top. Palmerston Magpies now directly on their 50-metre defensive arc. Pick it up. Hurried kick through the middle from Louis. Doesn't find his target in Sutton. Now it's off the ground from the Tiwi Bombers. Looking to go into the right forward pocket. Tiwi Bombers kick it through. Carroll racing out in the right forward pocket. And he's going to be dragged off the ball. That's going to be a free kick. Wasn't a free kick paid. Looked like Harley Putantanamiri was pulled off the ball. Play on was the signal from the umpire, and now the umpire is going to signal full time. We've got a kick on goal there just before the siren, but as the siren sounds, it's Palmerston 5-1-31. They've absolutely exploded out of the blocks. They lead the Tiwi Bombers 1-1-7.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Head on in to Kazali's Palmerston Club. Business meetings, coffee breaks, or just unwinding, Kazali's has you covered. It's the perfect spot for a catch-up with friends, with stylish function areas suitable for any occasion. Sensational meals. Our family-friendly bistro has plenty of delicious options. All the latest machines in our modern gaming room. Get around the pool tables and prove your skills. Fancy a flutter? We've got full betting facilities available. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
So we can feel, really feel together, real together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing can ever bring me down.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience.
Dedicated sports zones.
Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice,
Come in and see it.
still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store.
Now open at Casuarina Square.
Yulungura. Pack forms. Palmerston Magpies there. Kobe Anand waiting around the footy. Does not come out. So left half forward. Palmerston already moving forward of centre. Pressure's on. Ball tossed high. Dennis, little palm with the left hand. Comes away from Guthrie. Tackle laid there by Hayden Brown for the Maggies. Ball spills. In fact, that player was Callum Groves. Long kick inside 50. Jack Berry, no mark. Toshi Kunoth at the back. Took the mark. Judged it beautifully. Ran into an open goal square and kicked truly. Palmerston on the board already. We've gone 50 seconds in this second quarter. They moved to 6-1-37, leading the Tiwi Bombers 1-1-7.
Yeah, it was a bit fortunate there. Toshi Kunoth, the ball just sort of fell on his lap. But you know, all 4 players going up in a contest, you certainly don't expect that. You'd expect it to be sort of spoiled away with that many sets of hands trying to compete for the ball in the air. But great start for Palmerston. Tiwi had a chance there to get their hands on the footy, but Palmerston certainly made the most of it there, and a great start to the second quarter for them.
Just a matter of seconds as well, getting that out of the middle and scoring. So ball back up in the middle. Dennis just stays down and he still gets it. Dennis with a handball. Running onto it heavy was Chester. He's out in front, still going. Goes backwards all the way back into the square. Gets it off to Anand. Anand puts it into the left forward pocket and running onto it. Easy chest mark yet again for the Palmerston Magpies. And on the chest is Kurnoff. He is a 45-degree angle. He's going to have to hit it 55 metres. Going with a slight breeze. And it's a wobbly, ugly kick to the top of the square. No one's able to pick it up. Picking it up now and swirling around is Guthrie, and he snapped it through for a brilliant goal. Guthrie, really decisive, and he was very elusive. Guthrie is having a brilliant start to the game.
Yeah, certainly, and he's been starting in the centre as well, so he's been showing his a good work rate so far by pushing forward, and great front and centre there off the kick in from Toshi Kurnoff there. It was always going to fall short with the breeze, and Guthrie positioned himself really well there, and fortunate enough that the ball sort of landed in his lap, and great awareness to be able to go onto his left foot and snap a goal there for their second goal of the quarter.
What a start here by the Palmerston Magpies in the second quarter. We really wanted to see whether the breeze would have an effect. Could the Tiwi Bombers use it well? Well, again, they have not been past the centre. Paddy Heenan wins it down from the ruck contest. Got a handball away to a teammate, wrapped up in the middle. And Callum Groves laying another big tackle. That's his second for the quarter. The umpire says, I will take it in the middle of the ground. Matthew Dennis again to go up against Simbaljevic. Dennis gets it down. Guthrie's in there attacking the footy. Gets a little right footer away. Centre half forward. No one could pick the ball up cleanly. But a free kick paid for a hold. It will go back to Guthrie. No, it won't. It'll go downfield to be taken here by Max Sutton. His kick. Awkward one inside 50. No teammate was really looking for that. In hard there was Matthew Rankin trying to get the footy. He has got it. He's pulled to ground, dropped the footy. No free kick paid. Tiwi defence working well here. Paddy Heenan swamp. Ball stolen. Shot on goal will fall into the hands of the waiting Matthew Dennis. And the Palmerston Magpies to line up and have another kick at goal. Their third shot at goal already in this quarter, which is now 4 minutes old. This is starting off, Aaron, just like the first quarter.
Yeah, it certainly is. They're making the most of their opportunity at the moment, Palmerston. And, Tiwi, they've had their chances. They just haven't been able to capitalise as Matty Dennis kicks truly for their third goal of the game and his first for the game.
Matty Dennis, as Aaron just said, first goal for him coming in the early stages of this second quarter. He kicked from 45 metres out, only on a 45-degree angle. Matty Dennis puts it through. What a start to this second quarter. And they now move on to 49 points. Tiwi Bombers stranded on 7, 4.5 minutes into this second quarter.
They're trying really hard, Dom. Shannon in the middle, Tiwi. You can see that they're trying to get their hands on the footy, but once the ball leaves the area, they're just second to the contest, and Palmerston are just sort of dictating terms at the moment and taking full advantage of Tiwi just not being proactive in trying to make a 50-50 contest around the ground.
Mankara's in there for Tiwi. Ball tossed up. Dennis gets fingertips to it. Still not cleared. Dennis goes back in, puts a handball that goes at 10 metres to the advantage of them. Batting it forward. Might have been in the back, and it's not going to be underneath is Scagliarini. He gets slowly to his feet for the Tiwi Bombers. It's going to be balled up. Defensive side for the Tiwi Bombers. Matthew Dennis just stands his ground. Ball goes down. Still on the ground. Picked up by Anand. He gets a handball off to Chester. Up to the centre half forward. And the mark is going to be played to Berry. His hands were chopped. So either way, it was going to be strong work from Berry, who was in front of 3 players. He didn't hold it long enough, so it must...
I think he done pretty well to actually hold on for most of it as well. It was a great contested mark there. I think it was Mason DeWitt that was on him. He's been pretty good, DeWitt, in terms of chopping that ball off, but yeah, I think Berry's size there sort of held him to advantage playing in front.
So now Berry coming in, looking for his second, and that's going to go to the right. So that takes Palmerston to 50. They bring up their half ton, and the Palmerston Magpies 50, leading Tiwi Bombers 7. 7 minutes gone, second quarter.
No commentator's curse required for that kick on goal there from Jack Berry. 8 goals, 2 now for the Palmerston Magpies. DeWitt now brings that ball back into play. No free kick as Cantillo was smashed as Dion Mankara comes streaming through the middle. 2 bounces, kicks from 45 and just misses to the left-hand side. Tried to drill it through the unguarded goal square. 1 behind registers. They move to 1-2-8.
Flanagan decides to take it from the centre square, goes for 2 bounces, comes back inside. They're in the defensive area. Williams, thumping kick, but it's going to be taken by Palapalmini. Bradley Palapalmini goes quickly back inside the Tiwi Bombers forward 50, and marking it on his chest is Scagliarini. And he is going to have a shot on goal directly in front. He'll have to hit it, though, on the 50-metre mark, Aaron. Has he got the distance? Do you know much about him?
No, I don't know too much about him. But, in saying that, the breeze will certainly help this if he can time it right. Yeah, a bit of a disappointing clearance kick there by Palmerston. I'm not sure why they went out that way. There must have been a bit of perceived pressure there. But Scagliarini having a shot from about 50 out, you'd expect him to kick the goal. Well,
he's certainly got the distance, easily got the distance, but just misses to the right. So they pick up another behind. Palmerston Magpies are leading, though, 50 to Tiwi 9. So we've got a few issues with the scoreboard at the moment. But Palmerston with a big lead at the moment over the Tiwi Bombers.
Ryan Wolf with ball in hand. Goes to a teammate there in Flanagan. Flanagan looking for another teammate on the run. John Harvey close to the boundary line. Couldn't find him. Be a boundary throw in now. 60 around from the Tiwi goal. So a little bit of extra pressure coming from the Tiwi Bombers here.
And you can certainly tell too with some of the skill areas as well that it's certainly early in the season, and some players are still getting used to that contact and the hard running and playing in this type of heat. So, you still do expect to see some of that, although the skill execution has been quite glaring at times from both teams.
Jack Berry just shoved Maloney out of the way. Ball comes to Scagliarini. He'll have a second crack at it here from 35 metres out on the run. 15 metres in from the boundary. Straight through for a goal. That's their best passage of play thus far.
Yeah, certainly. And there's a bit of a lead up to, I think, Tiwi, the last couple of times, Dion Mankara through the middle from a kick out, and Bradley Palapamini finding Scagliarini earlier in the piece when he just missed that goal. But certainly great stoppage work there to be able to rove that and break through the tackle. And, I think he might have had Paddy Heenan next to him, but he had the presence of mind there to be able to take the shot himself. And a great goal, and a great goal for Tiwi as well. And hopefully they can take advantage of this breeze by just getting their hands on the footy and making some good decisions with it.
Wow, and it does look as though their work rate's picking up, as we could see around the middle, around half forward. Yep. That's where it's needed, isn't it?
Certainly.
So back up in the middle. One down by Berry. He's in the ruck. It's going to be the Tiwi Bombers, though. Picked up now by Mankara. Drills it inside the forward 50. And that's much better for the Tiwi Bombers, playing in front. Beautiful kick in. And the Tiwi Bombers are going to have an opportunity to have back-to-back shot on goals. The first time, that was Harley Purantanamiri leading outside the goal square. Gets it right on his chest. And now Purantatamiri directly in front. Can they get back-to-back goals? 40 metres out. He celebrates before it goes over the umpire's hat. And that's back-to-back goals for the Bombers. That's their third for the afternoon. It's Harley Purantatamiri's first, and the Bombers with 2 quick replies, but it's still Magpies 50, Bombers 21, 10 minutes gone, second quarter.
Yeah, it was a great clearance there from Dion Munkara just to lace out Harley Purantatamiri on the chest there, and had some, I think he might have had Tyrell Louis or Liam Flanagan on him, but for Purantatamiri to be able to mark that and then finish as well certainly gives Tiwi a bit of hope and a little bit of momentum as the game sort of starts to swing a little bit.
Back in the ruck contest now, Berry up against Maloney. Neither really got it away cleanly. Guthrie tries to. Handball from him, back to Berry. Quick kick. Up inside 50, Matthew Dennis down there is the key forward. Attacking the footy hard was Matthew Rankin. Tiwi Bomber defence goes to work. Well done there to Silvani Babui. He's taken out of the contest. Handball forward for the Palmerston Magpies. Quick kick. Roy Farmer in best position, tackled with the footy, lost it, goes back in to get it. Toshi Kunoth applying great pressure. Handball comes backwards here to Silvani Babui. He's clearing handball towards Roy Farmer. 40 from goal, on the right boot, just kicks to a voice. And that voice ends up being Matthew Rankin taking that mark for the Palmerston Magpies. Spears a pass in. Toshi Kunoth perhaps took that a little bit too easily. Bounced off his chest. Handball comes back here to Chris Williams. Goes with the banana. Will land in the goal square. Thumped away there by Nicholas Ebinger for the Tiwi Bombers. Good defensive play. They withstand the pressure. 11 and a half gone. 21 plays 51. Bombers bring the ball back into play.
Munkara kicks it in. He's doing it at both ends at the moment. Munkara really lifted in this second term. Ball comes over to the boundary, dribbles through 2 players. No one's able to touch it, and it's on the commentary wing. Defensive side for the Tiwi Bombers, and it will be tossed back in. A lot of chatter out there on the field. Warm conditions, very shallow ball tossed in. Berry, though, for the Palmerston Magpie was in the ruck. He's down on the ground, gets a handball out, and there's going to be a free kick for holding. Tiwi Bombers want to play on. They go through the middle, and no, they're going to call it back. No advantage. So Matthew Cantilla is going to get a free kick. Halfway on the commentary wing. Cantilla looking for some movement forward. Palmerston Magpies have an extra player, and it is going to be dropped down to the ground. Looking for a free was Tipalura. He's still there, dancing through traffic. Big handball over. Palmerston Magpies, though, it's going to be cleaned up defensively from the Magpies. Hurry kick outside there, forward 50. Rankin, very calm under pressure, kicks it inboard. Picked up by Kelly. Kelly then goes even further inside the middle of the ground, and it finds McMasters. He gives a swooping handball out. Now a little chip kick and finds Williams. Williams about 70 metres from goal. Puts forward, wants someone to come to him. And they do, and it's going to be an easy mark from Kurnoff. He turns around, finds another unmarked player. This is bad checking from the Tiwi Bombers at the moment. They've gone 3 kicks and 3 marks without a player anywhere near them. And the Tiwi Bombers are going to have a shot from the right forward pocket. Sutton with the black boots on. Slight angle to the right. Comes in 35 metres. The left footer has sprayed it across the goal. They're going to pick up a behind. Good lead up to that, but not reward in the end there. The Magpies 51 leading the Tiwi Bombers 21. 15 minutes gone, second term.
DeWitt now to bring the footy back into play. Nice little chip kick goes to Barry Yulangura. Oh, he falls over. No possession, no clean possession. Toshi Kunoth just gathers it from that position, which was deep in the right forward pocket, just pots away at goal and puts it straight through the middle. Toshi Kunoth, incredible skills. That's his second for the quarter.
Yeah, it was an unbelievable kick there, and especially after a kick out as well, it shows you that Palmerston are come here ready to play, to be able to put that defensive pressure on inside their forward 50. Certainly making the most of their opportunities as well, and have been pretty accurate as well. I think they only kicked 3 behinds for the game, so they've been very accurate in front of goal. And the challenges there, Tiwi had a bit of momentum there. They kicked a couple of goals in a row. Unfortunately, just haven't been able to stick with it. And it's always going to be the case if they manage to lighten their load a little bit in terms of not playing the way they need to, as we see somebody.
Barry Yulangura still down in the right forward pocket. I'm not sure whether he's injured or just severely embarrassed down there as a result of that effort. But the trainer's heading out there to check him.
He did, as you mentioned, he tripped over, and that's how Kunoth was able to pounce on that and score. But he's been down for some time. Looks like he's pointing to his right leg. But as we get some update on him, he's up, slap on the back, and he's walking. So that's good news for Tiwi Bombers and Yulangura. And what about the runner out there for the Tiwi Bombers? I'm sure if you're new to the NTFL coverage, Cyril Rioli, the former Hawthorn star, is their runner. He looks as fit as ever, Aaron, and we always, last season, so much pressure whether he was going to play again or not. Still any word whether, I know he's training with the Darwin Satellite Group.
Yeah, it's just great to see him still involved in NT footy and trying to give back to the Tiwi Bombers footy club as well. I mean, it's going to be obviously an added bonus to the Tiwi people and the NTFL fans if he did pull on the jumper again. But the fact that he's willing to come out here, during the week and then on the weekends to help out the Tiwi Bombers is, a testament to the character that he has and his love for NT footy.
So, unfortunately, Yulangura is actually being assisted from the field, so it looks like a right leg.
Does not look good either, Shannon. He looks in a bad way. The trainer's actually carrying him off so he doesn't have to weight bear on either leg.
Yeah.
I think it's his right
It's like a knee or an ankle there that he just can't...
put weight on.
So that's bad news if Tiwi Bombers are down a player in this warm weather. Maloney went up against Dennis. It's cleared out, though, from the Palmerston Magpies. Rankin with a huge kick. Tiwi Bombers, though, have it now. The kick has come to the commentary wing. Going inside is Cantilla, still with a strapping on his head. Little chip kick, doesn't miss, didn't get it marked. Picked up off the ground was Harvey. There's going to be a free kick from the furthest umpire, and he's going to call it high on Harvey. A lot of left footers in the Palmerston Magpies. Harvey gets it off to Lockyer Jr., another left footer. Goes and just sneaks down the boundary commentary wing. Finds Sutton. He pokes it forward, looking for Berry out on the
50-metre penalty there, Shannon.
Lead.
I think he was finding the Palmerston player. There was might have been an encroachment on the mark, maybe from Tiwi. So they've got a 50-metre penalty where I think Sutton will have the ball from 50 metres.
So he goes quickly over to the right forward pocket. And that's something that the Palmerston Magpies are doing extremely well as well, just playing on quickly, aren't they? They're really focused. Wilson was the man leading out from the goal square. This could be one of the longest run-ups I've seen in the NTFL for some time. It looks about 30 metres.
It'll be a challenging kick too, Shannon, because that breeze will be coming straight into him, coming from the Michael Long centre towards the scoreboard. So it'll be a very good kick if he can nail this one.
Well, he's going to hit it 35 metres. He hits it 40. Doesn't look too convincing off the boot. And you're right, it's gone to the right. So it was a tough ask. He's picked up a behind. Palmerston Magpies move to 57, Tiwi Bombers 27, and we are deep in the second quarter.
Kick in comes to Harley Purantatameri. Kick to goal already in this quarter has Harley Purantatameri. Takes that one deep inside defensive 50. Little chip, has to be perfect. It is not. Dennis takes the mark, goes straight back inside 50. Mark taken there for the Maggies by Fletcher Wilson. Wilson looking for options. Again, another unchecked player for the Palmerston Magpies. That was very well done there by Fletcher Wilson. Was just patient, waited for the right option to come and put it onto the chest of John Harvey. So Harvey now dead in front. Kick from about 45. Again, the long kicks that we've seen so far at goal, of the trajectory's been low and long. Will he go high? He does. Will the breeze bring it back? It does. Beautiful kick there from John Harvey, and he puts the 10th goal on the board for the Palmerston Magpies. A well-worked goal it was. So at the 20-minute mark of this second quarter, the Maggies 10-4-64, leading the Tiwi Bombers 4-3-27.
Yeah, it was a great finish there by Harvey too. Challenging kick from that distance with the breeze as well. And Dom, you've got to be impressed with the way Palmerston are playing at the moment. They just seem so composed. They're using each other as well. They've got a free man. They're making sure they give it with their hands or kicking it to space. And you know, it's been a bit disappointing. We're not used to the way Tiwi that are playing like this. It's a bit stop-start. We're used to seeing them playing some free-flowing, attacking footy. So you know it's going to come eventually. I guess the challenge for Palmerston is to make sure that they play the game on their terms.
Maloney up against Dennis. This time Dennis goes up. He goes too early. Maloney gets it, but he kicks it up and under. It goes sideward to the outer wing, so no advantage. Palmerston are first to it. Anand kicks it inside the right forward pocket. Wilson takes a mark over his shoulder. So he's going to have a 45-degree angle. He's going back another 30 metres from the man on the mark, puts the ball down, just wipes his hand, gets the sweat off. Very, very warm afternoon here. Nearly 3:30 local time. It was 37 degrees. Well, that's what it felt like when this game started. Wilson from the right forward pocket. He's got the distance and they like it. Matthew Dennis standing on the goal line, claps it through, and that's their 11th goal for Palmerston, and they extend that lead. It is 70 leading Bombers 27, 21 minutes gone, second term.
What an amazing kick there from Fletcher Wilson. You won't see many kicks like those, especially at that position of the ground. So, you know, an amazing shot for goal for them. And you know, the Magpies are just continuing to play the game on their terms at the moment.
As you said, Aaron, they're playing it the way they want to play at the moment. So important. And the ball back in the middle now. What can the Tiwi Bombers do from midfield? Because this is where it is all starting at the moment. Dennis has got himself back in there. Guthrie's recently come back on. He's been an excellent player so far for the Maggies. What can they do? Dennis takes it out of the ruck contest, just kicks it quickly up towards Williams, who couldn't grab hold of it. Half forward goes to work here. Nigel Lockyer Jr. taps it to his own advantage, runs to 30, kicks on goal, and kicks his fourth for the game. 3 in the first quarter, and now his first in their second quarter. Well, I said it's going to start from the middle. It sure did, except it was all for the Palmerston Magpies.
Yeah, it was unbelievable. When it rains, it pours, and at the moment, you know, the Magpies are playing some great footy at the moment. And you know, no doubt Tiwi are certainly trying, and you know, it's a bit of a transition phase, I guess, for their footy club at the moment. You know, looking at their list, you know, the Simon Munkaras are no longer there, the Austin Wanamarys, you know, the Ross Tungatalams. So, you know, if that's not the case, you've got to expect some of the younger players to try and stand up, because it can't be left to the Paddy Heenans and the Bradley Palapaminis and Dion Munkaras to lift them. So
Dennis just taps it down to Rankin. He runs out of the centre square. Big up and under. Wilson's thrown off the ball. Tiwi Bombers down on the ground, scrapping his Barbui. Now the handball out to Palmerston Magpies. Sutton is run down. He has been caught. And a free kick going to Tiwi Bombers inside their defensive 50. Little nice kick out. Casual Tipalura caught it. He wanted to play on. And now the ball goes down the commentary wing. Goes over the head. Tackled without the ball, a Palmerston Magpies player. Scrapping though, and the Palmerston Magpies with their pressure, and it's gone over the boundary. Tipamanta Mary. That's Tyson. They said it was deliberate. So the ball's just been kicked out of play on the full.
No, unfortunate there. I think young Max Sutton spilled the ball over the line there on a chest mark. So not something that he'd be proud of, but I'm sure he'll get another opportunity to rectify that.
Just one of those things. Boundary throw in now in front of the Morris Rioli grandstand. Matthew Dennis straight down to his teammate in Guthrie. Tackle was laid, but he got the handball away. Another chain of handballs comes through Matthew Rankin. He can't dispose of it cleanly. Taken there by Matthew Cantilla. He turns it over in the middle of the ground. Taken by Flanagan for the Palmerston Magpies. Puts it onto the chest of Fletcher Wilson. Couldn't take the mark. Fighting for it now inside attacking 50. The Bombers grab hold of it. Defence goes to work. So too Toshi Kunoth now for the Palmerston Maggies. Kentilla, Phelan, got it away for the Tiwi Bombers, taken again here by Wilson, pops it up to Sutton, away to Guthrie on the left boot, and he just pops it straight through from 25 metres out. They are under siege down there, the Tiwi Bombers, and it seems like once it gets past half forward, it's done and dusted. Another goal on the board, 24 and a half minutes gone, 13-4, 82 the Maggies, the Tiwi Bombers 4-3, 27.
Yeah, it's just been exceptional finishing there from Palmerston, taking their chances. And unfortunately for Tiwi, I think a bit of fatigue is starting to set in too. They're getting their hands on the footy, and whether it's just a lack of pre-season or a lack of fitness, they're just fumbling the footy at the wrong times. And Palmerston are just swarming all over it for any opportunities and are making them pay at the moment.
And Eric Guthrie been very impressive. 2 goals now, both of them in the second quarter. All his work really starting from the midfield.
Yeah, so he's working really hard. You know, he's winning the ball in the middle and assisting there and running forward and hitting the scoreboard as well.
Dennis, all now on fours, trying to get the ball, but getting it and ducking on his head was Dion Mankara. Now it's a clearance for the Tiwi Bombers. Haven't seen that for some time. The Palmerston Magpies have kicked the last 4 goals. Getting it on the chest is Ebinger in the forward line for the Tiwi Bombers. Hasn't been down here for much of the second quarter. He just puts it up to the top of the square. Pack flies up, handball comes out. Now it's Louis. He just boots it out. There was no one in front of him. That's going to go 1 bounce, 2, 3. It's going to stay in play. Tapping it through his leg was Tipper Mantameri. That was Jerome. Kept it in play, and this is going to work out for the Tiwi Bombers. Coming back inside their forward 50. Not able to pick it up around his legs was... but shot on goal, and that's touched on the line. It was a good shot on goal there from Dion Mankara. Last line of defence past Palmerston Magpies though, and so it's only 1 for the Bombers.
Tyra Louis brings the ball quickly back into play for the Palmerston Magpies. Goes sideways into the back pocket. Ball will come back to him. He's still standing in the goal square. Receives that. Little toe poke forward goes to Flanagan. Liam Flanagan for the Palmerston Magpies. Little chip from him as well. Finds a teammate there in Elijah Kelly. Steady build up here now goes to Chris Williams at centre half back. Long kick. Michaelis McMasters takes the mark on the wing. Just kept on running. Drills a pass into Toshi Kunoth. Perfect footy from the Palmerston Magpies. Toshi Kunoth plays on. That's a magnificent pass. I'll give him that. Alwyn Jr. marks it deep in the right forward pocket. Can he finish off this perfect bit of football from the Palmerston Magpies? It'll have to be a great kick to kick this one. He's right on the line. Right forward pocket.
Dom will share the same.
Goes the banana and kicks it out of bounds on the full. There had to be a destructive moment amongst all of that, didn't there? And that was it. Toshi Kunoth, what was he doing?
I'm not sure.
What was he doing?
He'll say he was passing it.
Oh, that was not a pass. That was a shot on goal.
DeWitt has it in the right back pocket. The left footer just kicks it down the commentary wing. Misses 1, misses 2. Running onto it is Ebinger. Overruns it. Ebinger tries to come again, picks it up, and there's going to be a free kick. And the umpire's going to have to call that back. He's called it play on. That's going to go to the advantage of the Tiwi Bombers. And Harley Purintanamiri has picked up his second. And right on the siren, the Tiwi Bombers get one back. It was a call play on. Everybody stopped. But Harley Purintanamiri was waiting in the goal square. It bounced towards him. He dribbled it through. Siren goes. But the Tiwi Bombers will have to have a big chat at half-time because the Palmerston Magpies, they are 13-3-81, leading the Tiwi Bombers 5-4-34 at half-time.
Love exploring the territory? If you do, it's good to know that with TIO Comprehensive Car Insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Absolutely 0.
0.
Yeah, definitely.
It has to be 0.
Yes.
Yep.
Absolutely.
I don't think that's asking too much.
Boy,
boys, we've got a real big problem. It belongs to you, it belongs to me, it belongs to everybody. I'm talking about family violence. It's time we said no more to family violence, isn't it? Yeah. Think about it.
We've all got to say no more to family violence.
No more!
Family violence is a community problem and it needs a community response from all of us, and sport is a big part of that. But we can all do our bit by being more respectful to each other. Please make this year the year we say no more to family violence.
Time to escape, 'cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better, and I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co., the beer from up here.
On Territory roads, anything can happen, so you need to drive to the conditions. Speeding can get you into all sorts of trouble. Dirt roads aren't just dusty. When it's hard to see, they're dangerous. At water crossings, remember, you're driving a motor car, not a boat. High water can be deep trouble. All sorts of animals can be on the road, so watch out. And if the weather is bad, slow down, you mob. Drive to the conditions and arrive in good condition.
The time to kickstart your business is now. Get your message across with the experienced local TV production team at Kick Digital. Cost effective, rapid turnaround, exceptional service. Kick Digital. Television production energised.
CFS Schoolwear is the perfect choice for quality custom-made school uniforms. Ideal clothing for all school-related activities, whether it's 50 or 500 students, we have what you need. Contact the Cricket and Football Shop NT for your free CFS Schoolwear quote today.
Getting my hands on the footy and just being with my mates.
I like being outdoors. It just makes me happy. I don't like it when I get yelled at.
It's pretty embarrassing when someone's shouting at you halfway through the game.
It makes me feel like I'm useless and I can't do anything.
We're just kids.
We're just here to have fun.
Let us do what we love.
Just let kids be kids.
The NTFL clubs and umpires would like to share the following events and messages and thank their sponsors for the 2021 TIO NTFL season. For more information, please visit the relevant club or umpire's Facebook page.
takes a long time to come down. How do you then cope from an eating and sleeping perspective straight after such a late game?
Yeah, I don't. And I dare say I'm not the only one that struggles to sleep after a late game.
Yep.
It'll be a fairly early morning for me, still being up early hours of the night. So yeah, just trying to decompress after the game, and your thoughts are going through. Your body's very tired, but your mind's still racing. So I don't take anything in terms of pre-game Red Bull or anything like that. But just I don't know whether they're the endorphins or whatever they are. You're just running through your body at the moment. So your muscles are really tired, but your mind is just ticking over, thinking about the things in the game, getting yourself right for next week, stretching. Those type of things.
And from an eating or drinking perspective after the game,
are you hungry?
Do you have?
I don't get hungry straight away, but I will eat something before I go to sleep. Yeah.
Wow, that's so.
Thanks for sharing all that.
Usually,
I'm like, I'd be eating all the time. I'd be having a banana. I'd be wanting food at half time for
energy. Usually not a good choice, trust me. But there is something that I've got to find to eat before I go to sleep. Yeah. So whether it's
Wow. Well, that's a fascinating insight. Everybody is so different, but it is warm here for the 2:30 afternoon. Second half underway with Don McCormack.
And it started just like the first. Matthew Dennis winning it straight out of the middle into the hands of Chris Williams. Drives it down inside 50. Berry couldn't pick up. DeWitt the same. Toshi Kunoth gathers close to the boundary. Handballs away under pressure. Goes to Nigel Lockyer Jr. Steadied for a kick. Didn't find his intended target. Fell into the hands of Callum Groves, and he slots a goal from 10 metres out. The Magpies 25 seconds on the board in the third quarter.
Yeah, just the ruck work there from Dennis to get it down to Chris Williams, and his clearance almost got run down, but he managed to get that kick through, and the composure there of Nigel Lockyer and Toshi Kunoth to keep the ball alive. Certainly set up Callum Groves there, who started in the middle as well. So Palmerston's ability to follow the ball forward and impact the scoreboard. Groves, who started in the middle that quarter, at the start of the quarter, hits the scoreboard for his first goal of the game.
So back in the middle, and we have gone 1 minute, and the Palmerston Magpies back on. Dennis stayed down. The ball, no advantage, but it's the Tiwi Bombers that are going to pick it up. Hurried kick off the ground for Tipper Manta Merry, and that was actually Tyson. Number of them playing out there in the middle. Kicked inside the forward 50 for the Palmerston Magpies. Goes over the head of Berry. Down on the ground, scrapping for it. In there is Kerno. And on the bottom is a Tiwi Bombers player. And on top of him was Sutton and also Kernoff. Ball tossed up and kicked off the ground was Rankin. He had a shot on goal, and it's gone to the left. So the Palmerston Magpies, with all the pressure at the moment, it's gone through for a behind. Palmerston 88 leading Tiwi 28.
DeWitt brings the ball back into play. The Tiwi Bombers switch it out wide. Came to Matthew Cantilla. He kicked long, missed the target. Comes to Louis. Louis on the right boot. He will not miss a target, but Nigel Lockyer Jr. dropped the mark he should have taken. Ball comes back to Matthew Cantilla. Good chase down from Nigel Lockyer Jr. Spills to Flanagan. He picks up, got a handball away under pressure. Callum Groves places a tackle on. Liam Flanagan in again. He is tackled over the boundary line. That should be a free kick to Liam Flanagan. Gee, bit harsh there by Nicholas Ebinger. An umpire asking the boundary umpire just to toss the ball straight in. Interesting to see how the Tiwi Bombers fare in this third quarter. Matthew Dennis tapped it away, goes to Harley Purantata Mary, cruises through the congestion, and that is a beautiful kick to Paddy Heenan. Harley Purantata Mary, a very skillful player. Paddy Heenan goes back into the middle of the ground, in fact centre half forward, spots up Fletcher Carroll. He goes back to the hard running Harley Purantata Mary and takes the mark 47 metres from goal. 45-degree angle, should go back and have a shot. Purantata Mary, a noted goal kicker. He's already kicked 2. And he gives the signal that he's going to go for goal. Normally the signal that he's going to drop a short pass. And he does exactly that. He comes across the ground and finds the chest of Nathan Scagliarini. And Aaron, he's put in a fair bit of effort, Scagliarini. He's been around the ball and used it pretty well too when he's had it.
Yeah, his work rate's been pretty good for the Tiwi Bombers today in trying conditions for him not being from here. So it would have taken Harley Purantata Mary's best kick of his career, I think, to kick that goal from that distance. So a very smart decision there to pass it off. And Scaglarini lining up for his second.
Lining up for his second indeed. He kicked one in the second quarter. Kick is going to make the distance easily, but jagged it to the left for a minor. So the Tiwi Bombers, they extend by 1 point. 4-5-29 Palmerston, 14-5-89. 4 gone in this third quarter.
Kicked in. Nigel Lockyer Jr. at the back trying to tap it. Might have got a little poke in the eye. Keep an eye on that, Aaron. Ball goes forward. It's inside the forward 50 for the Tiwi Bombers. Comes back to Purantaramiri. He's tackled. Ball comes out. Lockyer Jr.'s
Miraculous recovery.
He's got good sight now because he's taken a mark. Beautiful kick inside. And he finds the chest of Annan. Annan got a handball away. He's run down. Good tackle from the Tiwi Bombers, but it's still in the hands of the Palmerston Magpies. Shot on goal from Rankin. That's gone to the right. And they pick up a point. Palmerston 89, leading Tiwi 29. So 70-point margin here. 5 minutes gone, third quarter.
Mason DeWitt to bring the ball back into play. Goes deep into the right back pocket. Roy Farmer. Such a good user of the footy. Normally Roy Farmer. Been a skillful player for a long period of time. Hugs the boundary. Ball taken by Palmerston, but not before the footy was out of bounds. So a boundary throw in just to the right of that scoreboard. Palmerston will find themselves at left half forward here. So still a good attacking position.
So work rate needs to lift there for the Tiwi Bombers there, Dom. They had the ball on the flank and Farmer had played on, and he only had 2 options on that side. He had a lot of on-ballers through the middle there, not providing an option.
Matthew Dennis simply takes the ball out of the ruck against Heath Maloney, bangs it deep inside, attacking 50. DeWitt had it, then lost it. Ball flicked out the back. DeWitt pursuing it, shoved his opponent away, gathered it again. Great effort from Mason DeWitt. The high up and under. Players go for it. Is that a call of mark? No, it's not. Palmerston calling for it, but into the hands now of Max Sutton. Played on. And the ball's going to be brought back here for a high tackle, I think, here.
Harvey was taken after kicking it.
So Harvey with the footy, plays on to Chris Williams. He bombs away, and that is a beautiful kick from Chris Williams. Normally a very good user of the footy and a big kick, and he put both of those to good effect there. Straight through the middle for a goal for Chris Williams. So the Palmerston Magpies march on here, early stages of the third. 15-6-96. The Tiwi Bombers 4-5-29.
One of his real strengths, Chris Williams, as a footballer, is his ability to kick long and accurately as well. I know he was renowned for that at the Darwin Buffaloes in previous seasons and at the NT Thunder, with kicking long goals from outside 50 on the run. So certainly a strength of his, as Palmerston, I think, kicked their first goal for the quarter.
So Dennis is in the ruck. Maloney is hunched over. Ball tossed up. Dennis doesn't even go up off the ground. He still gets a tap to it. Rankin tried to pick it up, but it's the Tiwi Bombers that clear it through Carroll. Hurried kick up to half forward, though. It's been chopped off by the Tiwi Bombers. And Davey Jr. takes a bounce on the commentary wing. Kicks it forward to right centre half. Gets it to Sutton. Sutton wants to play on quickly. He's going to find a player not marked in. That was Wilson. Tiwi Bombers have the numbers, though. DeWitt from the left back pocket, hugging the boundary, gets him out of trouble, and the ball is just going to dribble over. And there's going to be a throw in, and that is going to be 70 metres out from the Palmerston goals.
Mason DeWitt been terrific so far for the Tiwi Bombers in defence, under a great deal of pressure. One of the few to stand up so far in this game. Boundary throw in now. Morris Rioli grandstand side, half forward for Palmerston. Harvey laying a tackle. Umpire calls play on the ball. Comes out the back towards Dennis. Taken away by Maloney. Did well. Got it away to Jerome to Mundaberry. Kick up to Paddy Heenan. Had it, lost it. Got it back again from Ebinger. Goes towards centre half forward. Ball trapped there momentarily by Kieran Apuatimi. Pushed away now by Elijah Kelly. Taken again here by the Tiwi Bombers. And poor usage of the footy. The ball dropped, however, by Tyrell Louis in the clear. Got a handball away to a teammate in Sandy Brock. He uses the footy out wide, and Palmerston heaps of space out here on the scoreboard wing. Kick coming towards Max Sutton. Worked hard this afternoon. And a good kick from him coming towards Matthew Rankin. Takes the mark, looks to play on quickly, goes to Harvey, runs through half forward, long kick on the left. Getting a fingernail in there well was Chris Williams. Gathers, no he doesn't, he is tackled off the footy. And the umpire says that will be a free kick. Without the ball, Chris Williams to take the free kick finds himself on the slightest of angles, 15 metres out from goal, kicking towards the airport end. Doesn't mess around. He kicked the last goal, kicks on goal and just squeezes it through. Perhaps he might have taken his moment to get there to take a little bit more time. But Palmerston, they move now on to 16-6. They've cracked 102 against the Tiwi Bombers. 4-5-29, 9.5 minutes gone in the third.
Yeah, it was a great ball movement as well there from the Magpies from down back, just intercepting that kick inside 50, I think, from Tamimi, sorry. But they've just done it all game. The Palmerston Magpies, they've been really composed, and when they've seen a runner coming past them for the handball, they've given it the first time, and it's just really created that bit of overlap and creating the pressure on the Tiwi Bombers backline.
It's almost like they're playing a Tiwi Bomber style of game.
Yeah.
They've kept the ball moving, haven't they?
So it's going to be a long afternoon still to come. Dennis doesn't go up. Simbaljevic went over the top of him. The ball's still in the middle of the ground. Players just dive on it. Now it's kicked forward by the Palmerston Magpies. Lockyer Jr. picked it up, just coughed it up. Little kick forward was by Rankin, but DeWitt has taken the mark, and now a 50 has been given away. Kernoff just went over the mark. So DeWitt's going to be marched down the ground. He plays on quickly. Taken by Scalagini. He gets it over to the right. And there's a free player on the right, Appletamini. He's 55 metres from goal, kicks it forward, and the Palmerston Magpies defence is standing tall at the moment. Ball's on the outer wing, comes out defensively. McMasters just chips it down the commentary wing, the outer wing, sorry, finds Dennis the ruckman. He comes inboard to Rankin, looked for a handball but decides to put it on the boot, kicks it forward inside the 450. Two Palmerston players, falls to the back. Kernoff going to run through, and Kernoff is going to kick another goal. It is his third for the afternoon, and the Palmerston Magpies at stages look like they've got more players out there, and high fives all around, but Kernoff picks up his third for the afternoon, and it's the Palmerston Magpies 17th, and they lead 108-29.
Yeah, they're just making the most of their opportunities, aren't they? And they're just getting their hands on the footy, which is the most important part. And you know, the Tiwi haven't put a lot of pressure on them today, especially outside of the contest. And when the ball leaves the area, the Magpies just have a lot of time to be able to assess their options. And more times than not, they're actually making the right decision with the ball. And it's just creating so much pressure on the Tiwi Bombers' defence, as we saw there.
Ball back in the middle. Dennis up against Simbaljevic. Simbaljevic went early. Dennis waited for it. Got a little tap down. Kick out of the middle came from Joseph Thompson. Up to Max Sutton at half forward. Goes back to Harvey, who's really been in the game this quarter. Little chip. Another little chip. Just chipping their way through here. And Joseph Thompson ran all the way down from the middle of the ground, and he takes the mark about 38 metres from goal. 15 metres or so in from the boundary, left forward pocket. Now go back and have a crack at those goals. 17 already on the board for the Palmerston Magpies. And if you ever hear people talk about how ruckmen are just irrelevant to our game, come and watch Matthew Dennis play for the Palmerston Magpies. Joseph Thompson kicking on goal. It's not going to be a goal. Fades late through for a behind. So another point added to the board for the Palmerston Magpies. 17-7, 109, leading the Tiwi Bombers. 4-5-29, almost 13 minutes gone in this third quarter.
Palmerston Magpies have got a great ruckman. Collingwood Magpies have a great ruckman too. Very similar in terms of their athleticism for their height. Ball now coming out through the Tiwi Bombers, and it's actually going to be chopped off. Great hands from Sutton. He's intercepted it. Now it's inside the goal square, and Nigel Lockyer Jr. has kicked it off the ground, and that has come from a Tiwi kick-in. It was chopped off by Sutton. The ball was down on the ground inside the goal square, and Lockyer Jr. has got a toe to it poked it through for his 5th, and the Palmerston Magpies 115 leading the Tiwi Bombers 29, 14 minutes gone, third term. This is just something I cannot believe. This is how casual they were trying to handball it out. Sutton gets a tip to it, onslaught, Lockyer Jr. with the toe.
Yeah, it was a great finish there from Lockyer, Nigel Lockyer, just to bring up his 5th goal and a bit of style there, a bit of a party trick. But yeah, not expected from Tiwi Bombers just coming out, a bit lackadaisical there, and they paid the ultimate price, unfortunately.
Jack Berry wins the ball from the middle, comes down to Paddy Heenan. Beautiful handball from Paddy Heenan. Goes to a teammate in Silvani Babui and lands on the chest there of Dion Munkara. Handballs away, Tiwi with the shot on goal, and Harley Purantara Mary, crowd favourite for the Tiwi Bombers. He kicks his 3rd for the afternoon, his first for this, excuse me, his 3rd for this 3rd quarter. Tiwi Bombers 5-5-35. The Palmerston Magpies 18-7, 115. Aaron, I cannot remember a time when the Palmerston Magpies have taken apart the Tiwi Bombers like this.
Yeah, I can't recall that time either, Dom. And what you saw there was one of the frustrating parts of seeing the Tiwi Bombers play. They can just kick a goal within 15 seconds, and you know, unfortunately for them, you know, their team is still getting to know each other and gelling with some of their new players and some of their younger players. So, as I think there might be a bit of an infringement here.
Yep.
Doing a head count. The umpire's just given a warning. So
are we still persisting with the warnings at the moment?
I thought last season it was just a warning for the first half of the season.
I think that's what will happen, is that warnings for the first half of the year, and then they'll be a bit more strict with the interpretation.
Berry got a tap down, the ball's on the ground, so he's just kicked it forward. Running through and just going through traffic was Guthrie, you heard there. He's picked it up from a handball, got it off to Lockyer Jr., shot on goal, and he has missed it to the right. Wilson was in the left forward pocket on his own, screaming for it. But they pick up another one, the Palmerston Magpies. They move to 116, Tiwi Bombers 35, 16 minutes gone, 3rd quarter.
Nigel Lockyer Jr. reminds me of Willie Rioli Jr. in that they seem to have what might be described as a heavy kick. Like when they kick the footy, it stays kicked. It's really kicked hard. And
we're waiting for the footy to come back.
The footy now. He's just got such a strong kick. It's just perfect timing. Roy Farmer finally with ball in hand in the shade from the light towers. Kicks it up and finds teammate there in Dion Munkara. Haven't seen enough of him this afternoon, but when we have, it's generally been really nice. That's no exception. Finds a teammate now in Fletcher Carroll. And there's a whistle here. There's a whistle for
encroaching.
Just going inside the area. And Matthew Dennis, yeah, definitely shouldn't have ruckman in the competition. Look at the silly things they do.
As soon as he did it, he put his hands to his head. He just ran up to the guy kicking. But now it's the Tiwi Bombers. Have it with Apuatimi. Now into the right forward pocket. Getting in front for the Palmerston Magpies was Flanagan. He's disrupted the play, and Flanagan's going to pick it up, come outside the defensive 50, finds Sutton right on the chest. Defensive side of the outer wing for the Palmerston Magpies. Hands are chains, handball chains. Chris Williams picks it up easily. He kept running Sutton. He tries to kick it forward. Tiwi Bombers, though, have cut it off, and they're going to come through the middle through Patrick Heenan. He gets a handball off to Palapomini. That's Bradley Palapomini. Puts it inside. Drop mark from Cantilla. Got a heavily head strapped. Just dropped the mark, and the Palmerston Magpies pick it up cleanly, and they're able to go through the outer, through Guthrie, and they now come into the middle. Wilson picks it up. Bad checking here. Wilson dropped it on to the left. It was an ugly kick that's gone over the boundary. It really has let Tiwi off the hook, because the last 3 kicks finding players, Aaron, not even a Tiwi player within 3 or 4 metres.
Yeah, a bit of an uncharacteristic mistake there from Palmerston as well. Just a bit of a rush kick. We haven't seen one of those kicks, I think, since the first quarter. So maybe a bit of fatigue setting in as well. Some players getting tired and not as much communication happening.
Fletcher Wilson now at half forward, gathers the footy. Handballs cut off by DeWitt for the Tiwi Bombers. Runs straight through some would-be defenders against him. The Tiwi able to go for a run along the boundary here. Matthew Dennis putting in the chase. Great effort from the big man. Chip inboard goes towards Simbaljevic. Dropped what he perhaps should have taken. Second effort is a good one, though. Gets it away to Fletcher Carroll. Coming through strongly was Michaelis McMasters. In fact, it was Terrell Louis. Got the ball to Flanagan. Now Terrell Louis back again to Guthrie. Guthrie on that familiar left boot is a good kick. The ball's in the hands here of Sutton, who's had a great quarter. And that's a good kick up here to Toshi Kunoth. Takes the mark. 40 from goal, 45-degree angle. And this time, steadies and will go back and have a deliberate shot at goal. Chris Williams was in good position. He almost passed off to him in the corridor. Steadies now. Wanders across 50. Kick on its way. It started directly at goal and swerved to the right through for a behind. Palmerston Magpies 18-9, 117. The Tiwi Bombers 5-5-35, 19 and a half gone in the third quarter.
Palapomini kicks it in quickly, straight down the middle to Babui. Babui goes down the middle again, but picked off by Nigel Lockyer Jr. Kicks inside. Berry slips over, and so it is Palapomini that is able to pick it up for the Tiwi Bombers. He goes in the middle to Harley Purantanamiri. He just holds it up, runs towards the commentary wing, kicks it down to find Cantilla. Cantilla plays on. Little chip inside. It's a miss kick, and the only one Palmerston Magpies player. There was two Tiwi players, and he split the middle and found a Palmerston Magpie player. Ugly kick outside the defensive area for the Palmerston Magpies, and Maloney picked it up for Tiwi, fended off a player, and it was high. So the ball has been called back defensive side of the centre square to Alwyn Davey Jr., who for the third attempt is trying to take a free kick over Maloney. Alwyn Jr. kicks it down the wing, over the head of Sutton. He crashed into the back of Carroll, helps him to his feet. It's actually going to be a free kick to Sutton. This is not going to be popular.
The umpire's saying that, I think it's Fletcher Carroll shepherded it. He
went under him and took his feet out.
No intention of shepherding that.
So Sutton just chips it in, and the Palmerston Magpies 60 metres from goal with Chris Williams.
Chris Williams now 60, as Shannon Burns said, 60 from goal. Looking for options here. Palmerston have been very good in this situation. He bombs that up. No one there really except for the Tiwi Bombers. Comes off hands, gathered by the Palmerston Magpies in the form of Matthew Rankin. Quick snap at goal is off target. Getting very scrappy here latter stages of this third quarter. 118 plays 35 with Roy Farmer looking to bring the ball back into play for the Tiwi Bombers.
So he's told to play on. He now goes to the outer side, finds an unmarked Patrick Heenan. Applause there from a small crowd on hand. Goes down the middle of the park. Was looking for Tipper Mantameri. But now it's again been turned over by the Palmerston Magpies, who are in the middle of the park. They come out to the outer wing. Great smother from the Tiwi Bombers player in Ebinger. He goes again, trying to pick it up. He's just worked off the ball. There's 10 players around the ball. Handball comes out for the Palmerston Magpies, still in the middle of the park. Rankin tries to pick it up, ducks his head, gets a handball out, gets the ball down on the all fours is Rankin, and there is a lot of tired bodies out there. Miss kick from the Tiwi Bombers, Tipper Mantameri. That one is Tyson, and he kicks it down. Palmerston Magpies defensively have it on the outer wing, and they have found a lot of unmarked players, and they can go into the middle of the park. Miss kick doesn't find its target. DeWitt, very long way from goal. He's been the Tiwi Bombers' best player out there. Still going, still scrapping. DeWitt picks it up, dragged down without the ball, and that's what the umpire has eventually found. And DeWitt is going to take a kick in the middle of the park, and he has definitely been their best, Dom.
He has indeed been terrific for them. Pops it on the left boot, swings it out wide. Mark taken out there by Jack Wilson. He handballs it off immediately to Scagliarini. He pops it up into a dangerous position, almost marked by Ebinger. Off hands, who can take it here? Tiwi Bombers have got possession of it. Snap on goal by John Tipalora, goes across the face of goal. In fact, goes right across and crosses the boundary line in the left forward pocket, 15 metres around from the Tiwi Bombers goal. So there'll be a boundary throw in. 23 minutes down here in this third quarter. Tiwi Bombers desperate, to say the least, for a goal in the latter stages here. Ball tossed high. Dennis up against Maloney. Ball tapped to the advantage here. Phelan Cantilla got a handball away. Quick ball to boot. Dion Moncara slapped it to the advantage of Heenan. Heenan goes to Wilson. Jack Wilson had the kick on goal, and from 15 metres out, under pressure, kicks it through for a minor score. Palmerston to bring the ball back into play. 118 plays 36, 24 gone in the third.
McMasters goes short into the left back pocket, finds Flanagan. Now they're away on the outer wing. This is where they've been going a lot of the time. Thompson has it, and he is beaten by the siren for the forward 50 entry. The siren sounds here at 3/4 time. It's the Palmerston Magpies 18-10, 118 to the Tiwi Bombers 5-6-36. They only managed one goal, the Tiwi Bombers, but for the Magpies, they've kicked another big quarter, 5 goals, Aaron.
Yeah.
If you do, it's good to know that with TIO comprehensive car insurance, if you have an accident covered by your policy, we're here to help with the reasonable costs of towing, as well as your additional emergency accommodation and travelling costs. So get out there and explore. Get a quote today. TIO, we're for Territorians.
Head on in to Kazali's Palmerston Club. Business meetings, coffee breaks, or just unwinding, Kazali's has you covered. It's the perfect spot for a catch-up with friends, with stylish function areas suitable for any occasion. Sensational meals. Our family-friendly bistro has plenty of delicious options. All the latest machines in our modern gaming room. Get around the pool tables and prove your skills. Fancy a flutter? We've got full betting facilities available. Kazali's Palmerston Club, making a difference.
So we can feel, really feel together, real together. No one can stop. No one can stop. Nothing can ever bring me down.
Time to escape, cause I'm in need of warmer weather. Sail upon the stream to find there's someplace better. And I'm going far and wide.
Great Northern Brewing Co. The beer from up here.
Intersport, new concept store now open in Casuarina Square. Come in and check out a world-class shopping experience. Dedicated sports zones. Now stocking only the biggest brands in tennis, cricket, fitness from treadmills to benches, boxing, swimming, darts, pool and table tennis. For awesome service and advice, still locally owned and operated, the all-new Intersport concept store. Now open at Casuarina Square.
2 in the second and 1 in the third, and 2 goals apiece to Eric Guthrie and Chris Williams for the Tiwi Bombers. Their main goal kicker thus far, Harley Puruntatameri, 2 in the second quarter and 1 in the third quarter. They've only got 5 goals, of course. They'd like a lot more. I don't think they're going to get 14 in this last quarter to win the game, but we'll see what happens.
And what a bag so far. 5 for Lockyer Jr. He kicked 4 last week, so after round 2, 9 goals on the board for that tally, Aaron's pretty impressive already, isn't it? It's a good start to a season.
It is. He's had a great start to the year as well. Obviously, we've highlighted his year so far, and he started this season off really well for the Palmerston Magpies up forward.
Well, they lead by 82 points, the Palmerston Magpies. The ball is held in the air, siren sounds, and the final term is underway with Dominic McCormack.
Matty Dennis just waits for Simbaljevic to move out of the way and bats the ball down. Tried to find Guthrie, couldn't do so. Handball comes out from the Tiwi Bombers. Quick kick then from Jerome Tippermutameri. Good mark. Phelan Cantilla, centre half forward. Where's that been all day? That was terrific. The Johnny Eels look-alike. Got the headband on, just needs to kick long now. Does do that, down towards full forward. The pack flies, no mark taken. Back of that pack is Elijah Kelly for the Palmerston Magpies. Gathers in the goal square, swings it around looking for Alwyn Davey Jr. He gathers, takes the tackle, gets the handball away to Matthew Dennis, who did beautifully. Long kick out towards Fletcher Wilson at centre wing. Under pressure here, under pressure from Simbaljevic, and he does beautifully. Gathers the footy, gets it to Patrick Heenan at centre wing. Tries to spot up a teammate, can't find him cleanly in Wilson, and Elijah Kelly swings through again, takes the footy, kicks poorly. Simbaljevic cuts off left centre wing right in front of the scoreboard for the Bombers.
And he plays on, wheels around onto the right, puts it inside the forward 50. Good entries here at the moment for the Tiwi Bombers. Pack of players, no one able to take a mark. Ball just spills out now. Dropped the ball was Louis. Still not going anywhere, and it is 35 metres from the Tiwi goal. Umpire says he'll have it, and there'll be a ball up just slightly to the left, heading towards the Tiwi Bombers goal. And there is a strong breeze out there in their favour for this final term. Ball tossed down by Dennis. Ball on the ground. Guthrie was harassing. Now it comes out from the Palmerston Magpies. Hurried kick forward. Lockyer Jr. wraps up his opponent, and the ball will be tossed up on the outer. Slow to his feet is Carroll for the Tiwi Bombers. Just nominating the ruck at the moment. Dennis just too strong, gets the ball down. Guthrie was held off the ball. Tiwi Bombers pick it up. Kicked forward by Scalagrini, and a good mark taken by Cantilla. In a bit of a pack as well, Aaron. So that was pretty impressive for Cantilla, who'll have a shot directly in front, 40 metres out.
Great lead there. It's probably one of the rare times in the game where a Tiwi player has been in front and has had his opponent beaten on a lead. So hopefully he can reward his team and get his team off to a good start in this last quarter.
Cantilla, 40 metres out, directly in front. It kept low. Nearly got a hand to it, was a Palmerston player, but it has gone over, given the all clear. And there's some slow high five. Cyril Rioli, the runner, gets out to him, congratulates Cantilla, and that's the Tiwi Bombers' first goal of the final term. The first goal for either side, but they still trail Palmerston 118 to the Bombers 42, 3 minutes gone.
So encouraging start there for Tiwi. They won the clearance first up and got the ball inside 50 a couple of times and have been rewarded there with Cantilla taking a chest mark and finishing off to get their final quarter underway on the scoreboard.
First time this game that the Tiwi Bombers have kicked the opening goal of a quarter. Matthew Dennis wins the ruck contest down again. That's not the first time that's happened. Paddy Heenan dived on it, but he was tackled then by Chris Williams. The umpire says, I'll have it. Just forward of centre here, favouring the Palmerston Magpies. Dennis gets it again, goes towards Guthrie. Ball taken by Jerome Tippermutameri. And wrapping him up was Guthrie. They'll do it all over again. Haven't advanced further forward, just move the ball to the left just slightly. And a blood rule now to be called, and it's been called on Nathan Scagliarini here for the Tiwi Bombers.
I think his left knee's been bleeding.
He's
all
arguing
game,
his
to be
case
fair.
with the umpire. I've never known a player to succeed in arguing with the umpire, and like many before him, Scagliarini has lost this one and comes from the ground.
Well, good news, it's only his left knee, because they have been actually down a rotation for the most of the game after Ulungura was off injured. Was that the second quarter? So
Yes.
they've only had 3 fit for most of the game.
Dennis won that ruck contest down again, goes back in and tries to win his own footy and get it away. He's wrapped up by Simbaljevic in another tackle. And for the 4th time, they do it all over again. Dennis taps it straight to Fletcher Carroll for the Tiwi Bombers. Kick comes away from midfield. Almost a mark down there to Jack Wilson for the Tiwi Bombers. Phelan Cantilla on fire this quarter. Down towards Harley Purantatameri with a beautiful kick. Purantatameri couldn't mark it. And good pressure comes from Michaelis McMasters for the Palmerston Magpies. Pushes that ball over the boundary line for a boundary throw-in right on the 50-metre arc. 4.5 gone. Palmerston leave 118 to 42.
Groves is going to go up. I think 3 Tiwi players put their hands up, but it's going to be Simbaljevic who gets to the front. Now, Cantilla in the right forward pocket, falls over the ball. Guthrie tried to pick it up. Left back pocket now for the Palmerston Magpies. Flanagan's going to try and clear it. Can't find McMasters. Coming through for the Tiwi's Bombers was Tipper Muntamiri. And there's going to be a free kick going towards Jerome Tipper Muntamiri. So he's going to kick it. Chips it forward. Not sure if it's gone 15 metres, but they're going to play it to Cantilla. That's a very generous 15 metres.
No real estate ever from that umpire.
9 metres, I reckon. 9 metre
9,
kick.
he's called it 9.
There you go. So Cantilla's got it. He's going to have to kick it from the 50-metre mark, 45-degree angle. He does have the breeze at his back. Looking for his first goal of the afternoon. Matthew Cantilla for the Tiwi Bombers. From 48, and he's kept it right. It has missed absolutely everything. It's missed all of the posts by a good 5 metres, and the Palmerston Magpies are going to kick it in through McMasters.
Yeah, he didn't even look confident there, Matthew Cantilla, lining up for goal there. He could have had a bit more time there just to compose himself and kick truly.
Michaelis McMasters with the kick-in duties, brings the ball in. It was an untidy kick, but Fletcher Wilson making it look half decent by pushing it right out towards centre wing. Cleared a path there for Joseph Thompson, who took it, and a free kick has been paid. Fletcher Wilson dealt with, but Palmerston Magpies running it down with the advantage free kick here, all the way down centre wing. Kick up towards Toshi Kunoth, couldn't take it. DeWitt does take the kick. It is smothered. Little toe poke into the hands of Jack Berry, but a whistle has sounded for a free kick to Toshi Kunoth. I can't believe they didn't play the advantage. No, in fact, it's gone to DeWitt. That's why. For kicking in danger, I think was the call. So DeWitt now, straight down the middle. Good kick too, goes to Bradley Palapuamini. Quality player over a long period of time for the Tiwi Bombers. Has that kick smothered. Stolen away now by Kobe Anand. Handball comes to Matty Dennis. He releases by hand. Comes back to him. Little chip is untidy. And the Tiwi Bombers take a mark through Silvani Babui, deep inside defensive 50.
From the left back pocket, he kicks it down the middle of the park. Just falling at the drop of it and picking it up was Brown. He goes to the outer wing, finds a free player. Talking about free player in the middle of their forward 50. He's a free Alwyn Davey Jr. And Alwyn Davey Jr. is walking away from the goals with his back. He's going to have a shot here. He's going to have to kick it 45 metres towards the Michael Long Learning Centre. Just the slightest angle to the right. And Alwyn Davey Jr. comes in, and he's missed everything as well. Looked like it was, again, just too much. Just probably 5 or 10 metres.
Yeah, he just leant back on the kick there, Alwyn did. If he had sort of kicked through the ball a little bit harder, I reckon he might have had the distance there. He got the distance easy in the end, but yeah, just leant back on the kick, and that impacted on his shot for goal.
DeWitt brought the ball back into play, taken by Ebinger. His long kick up centre wing is marked by John Tipalora. That's a good kick from Tipalora. Falls into the hands of Patrick Keenan. Plays on immediately. And here he is, Harley Purantatameri, the goal-kicking machine for the Tiwi Bombers today. He's kicked 4, 2 in the second, 1 in the third, and now 1 in the last quarter. Moves their total on to 7-6, 48 The Palmerston Magpies, however, 18-11, 119. We've ticked past 8.5 minutes in the last quarter.
Yeah, it was, I think it was great vision there. I think it might have been Babui or Palapamini that got that ball to Tipalura on the lead. And a bit carefree there, Tipalura, with the ball, but he certainly had great vision there to find Paddy Heenan running inside 50. And a nice handoff there, a nice little present there for Harley Purintanameri with his 4th goal. He can thank Paddy Heenan for that dish off.
Well, it's the second goal of the quarter, and it is the second goal to the Tiwi Bombers. So Palmerston Magpies yet to score in this final term. Oh, they've one point, yeah. So they've, yet to score a goal. As the ball's tossed up, Maloney got it. So now it's a little advantage from the Tiwi Bombers. Maloney just chucks it onto the boot up towards the forward 50. Juggling mark and plays on quickly. It's going to go over the head of Ebinger. And the Palmerston Magpies through Louis are going to clear on the right outer half back. Picking it up and going for a run is Chester. He kicks it forward. Flanagan dropped a mark he should have taken. Now the Tiwi Bombers have been able to pounce on it. The ball was on the ground. It's kicked forward underneath the scoreboard. Scaglarini kicks it inside towards the top of the square for the Tiwi Bombers. Lurking is Harley Purintanameri. He jumps on the ball, jumps on the Palmerston player and puts McMasters under pressure. Good work from Harley Purintanameri. And now the ball's going to be tossed up 20 metres from the Tiwi Bombers goal. And you're right, this is a great effort from Purintanameri. Ball goes up. Tiwi Bombers have all the numbers, but it's kicked out of the air for the Palmerston Magpies. Dennis takes a mark on the defensive half of the 50 line, kicks it forward. Groves takes a mark. Quick handball to Rankin. They play on outside the broadcast wing. Sorry, this is Rankin who's got it. He kicks it forward to Sutton. Running on was Nigel Lockyer Jr. from forward 50. Puts it in, chips it into Berry. Goes over the top of him. Still might work out. Snap on goal around the body as he was being tackled was Kernoff. And Kernoff has kicked his 4th. Great work from the Palmerston forward. Under pressure, falling to the ground, and he picks up Palmerston's first for the final term, but their lead is 125-48. 12 minutes gone, final term.
Yeah, unlucky there for Rory Farmer, I think, was on that last line of defence against Toshi Kernoff. The ball just went underneath him. Unfortunately, he was in the front position there, and Kernoff, with his smarts there, was able to dribble and kick a long goal and kick Palmerston's first goal for the quarter.
Back in the middle now, again, Matthew Dennis lining up. He'll take on Heath Maloney. 12 minutes gone in this last quarter. Dennis and Heath Maloney break even. Ball spills now. Roy Farmer, in fact, Paddy Heenan had it for a moment. Comes back to Scagliarini. Now off to Maloney. Guthrie with the diving effort there to stop the kick, but a beautiful pass goes to Simbaljevic on the lead for the Tiwi Bombers. The long bomb at goal here. And thumped through for a behind by Elijah Kelly, who's done a good job in defence, Aaron.
He's actually been a really good player today, I thought. He's found himself getting the footy as Tipalura intercepts that. And
Tipalura indeed does intercept it, passes it off here to Dion Munkara, 25 out from goal. There's no way he was going to miss that. Quality player Dion Munkara thumps that through for another goal for the Tiwi Bombers. Too little too late though at this stage. 19-11, 125 Palmerston. Tiwi, they move on to 8-7, 55. 12 and a half gone in the last quarter.
There hasn't been a lot to celebrate today for the Tiwi Bombers, but I know that Shane Tipperman-Tameri and Jamie Scrimgeour would absolutely be loving their effort in this last quarter. They're certainly fighting it out now. That's their 3rd goal for the quarter, and you know, like we said, it's the little things that they've got to start to celebrate and focus on, and the effort that they've shown here. Yep. You know, the coaches will be really pleased with that, and we'll hope to see it next week for the duration of the game.
And clearly winning the last quarter.
Yep.
Dennis up against Maloney. Maloney wins a tap down on this, but Dennis got a hand to it. Running forward was Heenan. But now Guthrie, he's been run down from behind, just got a handball away. Inside the forward 50 for the Palmerston Magpies. Shot on goal from Groves, and diving forward was Kernoff. It's gone through his hands and picked up a behind. And so in the end, it's Palmerston Magpies 19-12, 126. Tiwi Bombers 8-7-55. 14 minutes gone in the final term.
DeWitt brings the ball back into play. Does it well. Finds Scagliarini. He goes across goal. Ball touched off the boot. Matthew Dennis having an impact again, laying the tackle. Spillage comes, handball out here to Munkara, Dion Munkara. Somehow gets away from the tacklers, pops the ball up into midfield. Simplejevic lays a tackle, ball spills here to Matthew Rankin, who's had a great afternoon. Runs to 52 from goal, untidy kick. Toshi Kunoth probably could have gone for it. Now he attacks it hard, runs away from Roy Farmer, gets a handball away to Chester. He's manhandled in the tackle and dropping the ball, says the umpire. A free kick rewards Scagliarini for his efforts. He goes straight away to DeWitt, and that pinpoint accurate left boot of his finds Scagliarini out on centre wing.
Scagliarini kicks it underneath the scoreboard, picks up a Tiwi player out on the lead. Harley Purantanamiri dropped the mark he should have taken. There's 4 Palmerston players to mop up. Harley Purantanamiri is the only one chasing. Comes now out, drop mark. It's going to be play on. It's Brock that's dropped it. He's under a mountain of pressure. The umpire says in the back. And so that is going to be a relieving penalty. Free kick to the Palmerston Magpies. They go back inside their defensive 50. Kelly has it. He goes short. Now down to Guthrie, who's had a brilliant game this afternoon. Guthrie, he just swings it out to the defensive side of the broadcast wing. Another chip forward from the Palmerston Magpies finds Groves. He chips it forward again to the forward 50. Lockyer Jr. chips it in board, and they have just chipped it around. Looked like a training run, and now it is going to be another shot on goal. And lining up is Chester, and he's going to have to kick this 35 metres out directly in front.
How good is that from Nigel Lockyer? He could have blazed away for his 6th goal there for the game, but unselfishly he found Chester through the middle there, who's rewarded him with a goal. But yeah, great vision there from Lockyer there to spot him up in the corridor there and bring his teammate into the game.
He'd be pleased with that too, Aaron, because the last time he went to do that, he was aiming for Jack Berry, who was a bigger target, missed him completely. Yep. Toshi Kunoth kicked the goal. So just from a personal perspective, I think Nigel Lockyer would be really pleased with his kick, finding a teammate. You know,
yeah, certainly.
As you've talked about all day, just a great team play again from Palmerston.
Yeah, they've done that really well today, Palmerston. That's their 20th goal for the game, so I know Alwyn Davey will be super impressed with their effort today, hitting the scoreboard and completely dominating the game today.
Yep.
And it's Chester's first goal as well as another blood rule. Guthrie's just coming off. And
he's had a cracking game, hasn't he?
He's been outstanding. Just a
3-2-1, Aaron, no pressure.
I think
you can't give him them all.
Yeah,
you can't have
it'd be
them all.
hard to go past the big number 29 for Palmerston. I think he set the scene early with his hit-outs and his clearances, Matty Dennis. Yeah, he's gonna have a really big say this year in how Palmerston go, giving first use in that centre square.
Jack Berry wins the contest on this occasion against Simplejevic. Scagliarini ran hard at it. Chris Williams gathered it for Palmerston. Rankin's there as well, coming hard at it. John Harvey for the Palmerston Magpies. Ball flicked out the back, goes to Chester, stolen by Dion Munkara initially. Liam Flanagan went low and hard. I thought he might have been taken high. Tackled by Dion Munkara, and the umpire says, all good. I'll take it in the middle. And he does do that. Tosses it up immediately. Berry wins it down. Came down to Joseph Thompson, who couldn't take it. Scagliarini does. Gets boot to ball quickly. Falls into the arms of Heath Maloney, who's battled away valiantly this afternoon. Handball is untidy. Goes to Ebinger, who bangs away at goal. Lovely little shepherd on the line from Harley Purantanamiri. Nudged his opponent out of the way. Has it been called? The central umpire says yes. The umpire in the forward zone says yes. The goal umpire says yes. All are in agreement. 9th goal of the afternoon to the Tiwi Bombers. They move on to 9-7-61. The Palmerston Magpies 20-12, 132. An unlikely looking goal.
Yeah, it was. It was an unlikely pass actually from Scagliarini. I think it was a torpedo pass that Maloney read really well. So a great handball too, you know, giving it off to Ebinger running through as well. He had a couple of short leads too, but he backed himself to kick it long, and you know, some great body work on the line from Perrintana Mary resulted in their ninth goal.
So ball up in the middle, and Dennis goes up again. The workhorse taps it down, picked up by Harvey. Still no clearance here from the middle. Sutton decides to kick it off the ground, gets it into the right forward pocket. DeWitt leads the race. He kicks it off the ground from the left back pocket, and now on the outer, Sutton picks it up for Palmerston Magpies. He's just worked off the ball. DeWitt dives on it. The Tiwi defender has had an outstanding game. He gets a handball away, and the Tiwi Bombers, they come through the middle of the park. There was no real focus for them to get the ball. So the Palmerston Magpies are just playing with it at the moment in their defensive 50. Hurried kick outside the defensive 50. Ugly kick wasn't good for Thompson. And the umpire, though, is going to give a free kick to Thompson. He said Patrick Heenan has raised his arm. And Thompson gets a quick kick, comes to the commentary wing. Finds the chest of Anand. Anand, short kick in. It's with Harvey. Harvey with the left foot. Goes into the middle, was looking for Lockyer Jr. Good mark over the head from Richard Purantanamiri, and he goes to the outer side, and there's just clever play. And Babui just puts it through the legs of his opposition.
Did too.
And he has made this easier work for the Tiwi Bombers. It goes in the middle of the park for Maloney. Wheels around onto his left. But that's been chopped off by Rankin, and Palmerston Magpies will have it in the middle of the park.
Rankin made that look so easy. Took it with the one hand, flicked it away to Fletcher Wilson. His kick was poor, but picked up nicely there by Joseph Thompson. Chain of handball comes back to Joseph Thompson. And speaking of easy, Jack Berry, the tallest player, well, second tallest player because Matthew Dennis is there as well. But Jack Berry, just by himself, Aaron. Again, we've said this on multiple occasions, Palmerston Magpies, metres in the clear. Takes a mark.
Yeah, he's presented really well today, actually, Jack Berry. He's a big body, and you wonder how someone that big can not have an opponent. But, yeah, he's done well to mark that one, and hopefully he can reward himself with his second goal for the day.
Just right of centre, should kick from about 35 metres out. Jack Berry, he's had a good afternoon. We've talked a lot about Matthew Dennis, but Jack Berry's been good also. Kick on the way. Did it just sneak in? I think it might have. She's given the two-fingered salute. And that's another goal on the board for the Palmerston Magpies. Jack Berry, well done. And as Aaron Motlop said, that's his second goal for the afternoon. Kicked his first in the first quarter, kicks his second in the last. He can be well pleased with that. 21-12, 138 to the Palmerston Magpies. The Tiwi Bombers, 9-7, 61 points. We've gone 22 minutes in this last quarter.
There's a lot of tired bodies out there, guys. I think they're all looking forward to the siren going. It wouldn't only be a couple of minutes left in the game. But, yeah, Palmerston have played extremely well today. Tiwi have been impressive this last quarter. I think the coaches will be really happy with how their effort and how they've performed. But Palmerston have been really dominant today.
Maloney tries to go over the top of Dennis. He taps it forward. Ball is going towards the attacking side of the centre square. Running past and getting a handball was Anand. He goes into the left forward pocket. Palmerston Magpies not able to pick it up just yet. Kernoff tried to chip it inside the forward 50 to Lockyer Jr. He was spoiled away. And the ball will be thrown up on the 50-metre paint. Left forward, centre half area, toss back in. That's just missed all of the ruckman. Coming through, picked up, little kick forward from Alwyn Davey Jr. And he goes into the left forward pocket, picks out Kernoff. And he is going to have a 45-degree shot, 35 metres out. And he's looking for his fifth of the afternoon.
He's been chasing Nigel Lockyer all afternoon.
Kernoff. Oh, just dropped that ugly, and that is missed to the left. Didn't look comfortable at all. Hands on hips. Very tired bodies out there. A number of players over on their haunches. And the Palmerston Magpies 139 to the Tiwi Bombers 61. Only seconds away from the siren.
Mason DeWitt takes off from fullback, pops it out towards Scagliarini with the long ball off hands, cruising through here. The Tiwi Bombers, 2 bounces coming from Matthew Cantilla. Gets it away then to Joseph Tipalora. The handball was poor. Spillage now to Michaelis McMasters, picked up nicely by Guthrie. Sweeping handball from Fletcher Wilson goes back to Michaelis McMasters. Good kick, not quite as good as it should have been to Alwyn Davey Jr. And the ball out of bounds. At left half forward, Morris Rioli grandstand side for the Palmerston Magpies. Time ticking on here, 24 gone in the last quarter. And it is 139, play 61, the Palmerston Magpies in a commanding position.
70 metres out from the Palmerston goal. This time a short throw in. Good tussle between the 2 ruckmen. Missed them both. Tiwi Bombers, though, are going to clear it out. Kicked forward by Palapur Mini. That was Bradley into the middle of the park, but it's chopped off by Palmerston's Flanagan. He kicks a very ugly up and under. Looking for Kelly. Comes back to Flanagan. Now it goes back inside the defensive 50. Brock has it, goes down the commentary wing. Oh, and he's going to be caught from behind. Rankin did not know that right behind him was Tippermantameri. That was Jerome. He picks the ball up and plays on quickly. Goes towards the forward 50, kept running. Handball over the top into the right forward pocket. Wilson gives it back to Tippermantameri. Shot on goal in the right forward pocket, and that's just missed to the right. But good work there from Jerome. He kept running, Aaron, and that's what they were missing, really, for the first 3 quarters.
Yeah, they just missed that intensity throughout the whole game there. So, like we said, they're picking out little moments. We're seeing flashes of the old Tiwi Bombers and how they want to play their footy. And, you know, the challenge now for them and the coaches is to be able to try and get it going early in the game.
Palmerston now work their way through defence. The ball comes to Guthrie. Nice kick from him, finds Thompson. Just players in the clear here. Alwyn Davey Jr. at half forward, takes off inside 50, lines up for goal. He desperately wants one, and he hits the post halfway up. He was having a crack at that from the moment he caught the ball, Aaron.
He could have even ran a little bit further too. He had a heap of space in front. And if he had his time again, he might have had a bounce and just got a little bit closer and steadied himself.
Roy Farmer just thumps it out. And it's 1 bounce and it is out.
Matthew Rankin just coming from the ground too for the Maggies, looking a bit worse for wear. Maybe a bit of cramp. Hopefully nothing more than that.
So Palmerston Magpie quickly back inside the forward 50 entry. Berry dropped a mark he should have taken. Tiwi Bombers pick it up and clear it. They're on the defensive side of the commentary wing. It's chipped over to Ebinger. Ebinger goes again down the commentary wing. Good kick forward. Oh, might have been a cramp there as Tiwi players and Palmerston players are down on the ground, and Palmerston players just come off. No one's gone on. So a lot of players very, very tired out there, and kicking that was Tippermantameri. That was Tyson. He's kicked the ball and has got cramps straight away and limping off. Ball's inside the forward 50 for the Tiwi Bombers. Picked up little chip from Munkara. Finds Cantilla all alone. 40 metres out. Cantilla off 1 step. And he snapped it through. There's no celebrations. There's very tired bodies out there. It's Cantilla's 2nd goal for the afternoon, Aaron. And this is when it gets even tough to watch. Poor young Tippermantameri, Tyson, kicked it and cramped just straight away. You know all about that.
It would be remiss of me not to give a little shout out to up-and-coming young players, Alwyn Davey and Tyson Tippermantameri. Both their dads are actually coaching against each other today, so it's pretty rare to have father-sons involved in the game, especially playing and coaching. So both young players have done really well today as well. They've had their moments, and we hope that we see them and they have a long career.
And they just must. How proud would you be to be a dad to have your kid running around there? You've got the opportunity with cousins and brothers.
Yeah, I've lived their life, unfortunately, or fortunately, I should say, with my father coaching me. So
slip of the tongue there, Aaron.
Yeah. You make sure you play well when your dad's coaching. Don't worry about that.
Matthew Dennis in the ruck contest, beaten for it on this occasion by Heath Maloney, but Chris Williams read it beautifully, took the ball away and delivered wonderfully well to Nigel Lockyer Jr. Just left of centre, took the mark about 47 from goal. And on a 40-degree angle, he should go back and have a crack at his 6th. Thoroughly would deserve it too, Aaron, I think, if he were to kick a 6th goal.
Yep.
He's fed off a few and kicked 5 thus far.
Such a beautiful kick of the footy too. I hope I don't put any pressure on him, but he's an amazing
Stop
kick.
it. Kick on its way. Starts it on the right-hand side and does not come back to the left. Siren sounds. Siren sounds on that point from Nigel Lockyer Jr. Palmerston Magpies 21-14, 140 have defeated the Tiwi Bombers 10-8, 68 here in the 2:30 match at Marara Oval.